ready, everybody. He's about to do something stupid.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, gentlemen, but you seem to have me confused with a character in a fictional show. Now, if you'll excuse me, my fondue is just about...
Welcome to the Dark Life Podcast, episode 27. Dark, I actually want to talk to you a little bit about something real fast. I know we talked about RP a little bit, but right before the podcast. But I need to be careful with my words because this might come out wrong. So, but I am actually really glad that you are doing, because I totally see that you are losing yourself in the whole RP stuff, so I'm really happy for you in that regard. But can you do me a favor? Next time when we do a podcast, can you not tell me what portion of the queue you're at? Please? That's all I ask. That's all I ask. One request. That's all I ask.
Okay, well, you don't have to worry about that tonight. I already did RP today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did the horse races early today, because there's a wedding going on tonight.
Oh, nice.
I got third place, by the way. And there's no video, because I had a blackout, and apparently OBS defaulted back to my intermission screen instead of being on the screen I was before it crashed. And so there's an hour and a half left of my stream where it's just my intermission screen.
Okay.
I didn't even notice. So, wow. So take my word for it. I got third place.
Anyway, it's just that I kind of felt like the reason why I just didn't want you to like be doing like queues and you could queue up. That's not the problem. It's just like saying that you're doing it, because at the time I felt like I was interrupting something, if that makes any sense.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I felt like I was kind of like interrupting, like you had better stuff to do, and like why do I need to be here kind of type of thing. So it's more of that, not so much like, yeah. So just wanted to bring that up real fast.
Okay. All right. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, I kind of went over a whole bunch of stuff that I just went over, like, all the stuff that I think we're going to be doing for the podcast, and it seems like we actually have a good chunk. So I hope to God we don't do all of it, but let's see how much we can knock out here. News updates, any kind of type of stuff on your end with that regard?
I don't recall. Don't think so. No.
Well, I actually just discovered this, I think yesterday, and honestly, this really pisses me off. So, normally I don't talk about wrestling kind of type of stuff, but this really pissed me off. And plus, this actually is kind of relevant to what we do. So, apparently WWE, they don't want any of the pro wrestlers to do streaming. So, a lot of these guys, a lot of these men and women, they play video games like us. They're actually on Twitch, some of them. And apparently, they don't want them to do any of that. I think by name, they said Cameo and Twitch to not do, but they also said something about third-party sites, which, if that's the case, I mean, technically, like, YouTube would be considered third-party, so, like, is that in the conversation? So, and that just really pissed me off when I heard about that. That hurt. Because...
yeah, that's annoying.
Because, like, with me, there's, like, multiple stuff that I do in my day-to-day. To where I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm listening to music, I stream. And I kind of feel like, at least with me anyway, I need to have one without the other. I can't have one without the other. I need to have all of them in a nice, good, like, mixture and combination. Because to, like... plus, as a pro wrestler, it's like, you have, like, you're wrestling, you gotta be there. So it's stress on your body, it's stress on, like, showing up for work, trying to do 110%. Well, you need to wind down. And if winding down is, like, streaming or something, playing video games, to, like, not do that as, like, a side project, to just kind of have that release, oh, that just hurts. So, that was just something I heard about, and I just thought that was... I hated when I heard that. So, so it looks like a lot of the pro wrestlers that, or at least with WWE anyway, they might be heading out of streaming, or, to be honest, it's just come out, so we actually don't know what all the full detail is. It might have something to do with names. WWE, they own the likeness. They essentially own your face and your name, essentially. So that might be the issue, maybe. So maybe all they just got to do is just change the name of their Twitch account. Make sure, kind of like the overlays with us. You know, hey, don't use Twitch overlays. Don't use the font, that sort of thing. Maybe that's all they got to do. So, but anyway, that was just a little something. That was anyway. But yeah, other than that, I kind of don't really have anything. I actually just now noticed a small problem with the stream. Why is that not clicking? This is odd. Okay. Mild technical difficulties. I think I was working on some of the overlays or something, and it looks like the scene's a little off-center on the stream. That sucks. I'm gonna try and fix that if I can. Right now it's not working. Oh, there it is. There we go. Now we're good. One mild tweak. Alright, there we go. So yeah. Other than that, I don't know. We have RDR2 to talk about. We have Remnant to talk about. I actually forgot about Rise of the Tomb Raider. Well, actually, I didn't really forget. Dark just kind of moved the podcast along, so I actually didn't have a chance to bring it up. And honestly, it wasn't really all that good, to be honest. So it's kind of forgettable. But yeah, I finished Rise of the Tomb Raider. what was it? I mean, if you like 2013, you're gonna like Rise of the Tomb Raider. It was fine for what it was. All in all, it was okay. I want to say there was a moment, their big cliffhanger. I felt like, I mean, I've been saying this a lot, so it's kind of like common news at this point, but Yakuza did it better. And then, of course, I know, right? And then,
No, surprisingly.
And then, oh god, I hated, there was some moment during the credits, like before or after the credits. They did that whole trope of kill an individual that had information that could potentially point to some big revelation. Person gets killed. Hey, should I kill Croft? No, stand down. So the baddies just, for that 1 second, just have a heart. Let Croft be. She's been, like, dunking on these guys the entire game, and now all of a sudden, let her be. I always hated that trope. I always hated that. To where the hero could be killed, but the baddies just say no for once. I hate that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's very few points where that makes sense. I mean, if it's just like someone who's like a mercenary or that makes perfect sense, because as soon as like, well, it's like if it's like mercenary, it's like they just killed the boss. Well, mercenaries are only loyal to money, so it's like, well, you killed my boss, I have no reason to kill you because I'm not getting paid for it, unless they have a personal like revenge, like personal vendetta against them. They have no reason to continue aggressions when they're not getting paid. So there are instances where that's like, it makes sense. If it makes sense for like the character to be like, nah, let him go.
Yeah.
They're not worth the time. But yeah, just doing that like without any sort of like, just kind of like arbitrary, just because we want another game and the character can't die. Yeah. It's a weak story element.
Yeah, I always hated that. So, I mean, they did that trope at the very tail end. I was actually completely fine for what it was, and then when they did that, it kind of soured me just a little bit. Just a little. So, I mean, other than that, I guess it was fine. And then, well, there is Danganronpa, but did I hear that correctly, that you actually were maybe looking into playing Danganronpa?
I'm considering it. If it goes on sale for like a good price, I at least pick up the first game.
Okay.
So it might be cheaper just in the long run. I don't know if I'd play through all the games though, so I'm like, it would be cheaper to buy them all in the pack, but at the same time, I don't know if I'd play through all of them.
Right. Yeah, so
I mean, if I bought all of them, I'd have to play through all of them.
yeah. It's just when I heard you say that, I was like, okay, if it's $20, I know a way better game for 20. And it's like Persona is far beyond a better game in comparison. I mean, that's just my opinion, but at the same time, you're also looking for a discount, so I don't know how low it's going to go.
Probably at least 50%.
Maybe. It really depends on the developer and how far they're willing to take the hit, I guess. Whatever. But, yeah.
If it goes for $10, then that seems like a fair enough price for it. I mean, 20 is a fair enough price for it, but...
Yeah. But it's just, in my opinion, when I saw that it was $20, like, brand new, I was like, Persona is also for $20, and it's like, I would highly recommend Persona over that. And at least with me, I think I have like 50 hours in Danganronpa, I think. So, but then again, to be fair, I'm a slow reader, so it happens.
Right.
So yeah, I actually was going to talk about Danganronpa, but then when I heard that you said that you might be interested, I kind of don't feel comfortable talking about spoilers then. So I guess that's skippable. I guess.
I mean, you could still do it. I've got a mind like a goldfish sometimes. I forget all the time about like, oh, stuff shown in the trailer. I'm like, oh yeah, it was shown in the trailer. I don't know why I'm surprised that happened. For like movies and that.
Well, I guess speaking of like memory loss, I don't know how the hell you forgot. And by the way, just as a secondary reminder, I did send you again the overlays. I sent you that like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I don't know how long ago I sent that, but I thought you knew. You even commented on it, so I thought we were good. But it turns out, yeah, he never sent me those. What? No, I did a long time ago. He commented on it. I thought you knew. So, as a secondary reminder, I sent them again, so they should be there.
They are there. Yes. They are
so
there.
If you have
I'll
to
remember to implement them the 10 minutes before we start the podcast next fortnight.
Which is why I'm kind of saying now, if you want to, just click on OBS right now. You could set that, at least have the images up, so that way you know, oh, I gotta move this around. Just saying, just as a friendly reminder, just saying.
Oh. Friendly reminder, yeah. No, I'm doing that right now.
And then, seemed like there was something else that you forgot. Something else.
Probably.
Something like, how the hell did you forget that you played RDR2 and finished it?
That too, yep.
How did that happen?
I don't know how that happened, I'll be honest.
So, because of that, we might have to talk about that later on today.
Yeah.
And then, maybe there's something else that you could redeem yourself. There's one other thing. You think you can remember it?
No promises.
Think you can remember? You know what it is? It's around the corner. I take that silence as a no.
Oh, our 1 year anniversary of the podcast.
Bingo! Alright, so you at least remember that. Okay. I was gonna say, you better not have forgotten about that. Yeah, so for those that don't know, I think it's on the 14th is when we did our podcast 1 year ago, so right around the corner. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's pretty much it with me. I am also going through Yakuza, but I kind of realized Mafia 1 is actually right around the corner. I kind of want to finish Danganronpa before I jump into Mafia 1, so I might be actually grinding away at Danganronpa for a little bit. Hopefully I can finish it before September 25th, but we'll see. If I have to increase my schedule or whatever, so be it, I guess. So, I don't know. We have, I assume, Wild West RP, RDR2, Red Dead, RDR2, and Remnant. So, I guess it's balls in your court, Dark. Where do you want to go with it?
I guess we could quickly talk about RP. Because I don't think a ton of stuff happens, but like for the purposes of the podcast, I'll keep it to quote unquote interesting stuff. Unquote. Wait. No. Whatever. Quote unquote, and then I unquoted again. So did I just open the quote back up? I don't know. What happened in the past few weeks? If I sound like I'm stalling with what I'm saying, it's because I'm also trying to do the thing at the same time. I'm going to stop doing this at the same time, trying to get the overlay together so I can focus on what I'm saying. Multitasking, what's that? Oh God, trying to think of what's happened in the past 2 weeks. It's always hard to remember. Last night we finally told our best friend Grace about the whole Lorna Forster thing that we've gotten ourselves into, which I keep forgetting to message Spike about, like, hey, when are you gonna be on? I keep forgetting to message him about that. I don't know. He's probably busy or something. I don't know. I haven't seen him on when I was on, but then again, I stopped going. I started just going on after the 8 restart instead of just like a couple hours before, which was usually when he was on. So that also would, hurt us trying to, be in the same place at the same time.
Right.
With that. I tried to do yesterday. I tried to do a Steve Palpatine thing, and it the problem with the character, it's just how it was just things where I don't know. He's not as flexible a character as Ryan is, where like Ryan do whatever, and like really just like I could just do whatever with Ryan. It's fine. But with Palpatine, he's got several, like, he's not going to do like crazy off the top things. He's very professional, very like he's got stuff he wants to do. He wants to move towards goals, sort of like more goal oriented, more driven in certain respects.
Right.
And it didn't help that I was like, oh, it's probably a good idea. Today maybe we'll. I do this with Grace, who she made a new character, Lily, who's the apprentice to Steve Palpatine, and we kind of we do stuff together. But she's done some solo stuff with Lily, and maybe I'll try and do some solo stuff with Palpatine. I'm not sure. I've gotten like a better grasp of like the character and the backstory and stuff. I've added in that he was formerly a professor of, apparently I made it up on the spot when it happened at RP, a professor of like old pagan religions and that. I'm like, sure, that sounds interesting. That gives him justification to be researching the stuff he's researching.
Right.
For legitimate reasons and not the crazy cult I'm trying to find a way to live forever reasons that are the real motives behind his interests. But it was just it quickly became like there was no one in Valentine, and then it was like, oh, let's go to Blackwater, see if anyone's there. And there was no one in Blackwater, and then we went back to Valentine. There was a group of people, and all the group of people disappeared. And it became quickly like, oh god, sort of like he's just not a character that would do like the whole like I gotta find people and search every city, try and find people to talk to, especially because if I'm gonna do that, I might as well just do that with Ryan. Like there'd be no difference. Like I got a little frustrated, and Grace, she picked up on it, and like in character suggested, hey, you should well, I got in a horrible cart accident because the fucking yokel decided to go 100 miles an hour down the fucking street of Valentine in a cart and didn't stop as it dragged me and my horse for half the fucking city. Oh god, that was, yeah, I was very frustrated from that. Mostly in part because my character, I was just like, the only way I know for my character to react to this is to be fucking pissed and annoyed.
Right.
He just got fucking dragged through shit for like 20 meters by some jackass. And yeah, I don't it was just not like, just things didn't line up how I wanted them to. That's
Right.
sort of a problem in RP you can get into, where it's like you're goal oriented, but when those goals don't happen, like, it can be discouraging. And I have that sometimes with Ryan, but again, he's much more flexible in what he does. Palpatine, I kind of have it, an idea of what I want to work towards and stuff. And yeah, it was just kind of, things were just being frustrating. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's probably a good idea. I swapped characters and just played the rest of the night as Ryan. But
No, go ahead.
yeah, no, I have nothing else to say about it on that front. It was
Not sure if it's related, but I actually have heard Silent Sentry say, because he's kind of been doing a lot of I kind of brought this up to Dark off stream, but basically he's been doing DayZ a lot, and he says he's not on a RP server, but he's clearly RPing in that server. And according to him, and he gets this question a lot because he does have multiple characters, and some people have told him, like, hey, why don't you do Ron Otterman in DayZ? And he says, yeah, it can work, but at the same time, it's not his kind of type of environment. And I don't know if it's related, but, like, there's just certain people that just wouldn't work in certain situations. And if it's something like DayZ, to where it's like, got like an apocalypse going on, the guys that are going to work the best are kind of like his Snake character, which is supposed to be like Solid Snake from Metal Gear. And all that character is just basically trying to, like, get information from various factions, or just trying to get an idea of what's going on. And he might, be like undercover for somebody, or he might even feed information to somebody. So there's like a lot of deception in that regard. Or he's been doing his Michael McMichael character, which is just a straight up redneck. And it's like, and it is kind of funny when he tells you, like, the mindset of Michael McMichaels. He's the kind of type of guy that knows what he's doing, but he actually doesn't, and he's actually waiting for someone to question his intelligence, essentially, and his decision making. And that's supposed to be like where the whole thing comes in. And then it's that whole I forget how he puts it, but basically it's like having that vulnerability, and you see him like try and fight out of it to a degree. So yeah, I don't know if it's related, but that was something I do remember hearing from Silent Sentry, to where it's like certain characters just don't work in certain environments. And I don't know if it's like a case to where it's something similar with Palpatine. Maybe he doesn't fit in like the Wild West setting. Maybe it's probably like a more modern setting or something like that. I don't know.
Well, I did a lot of tweaking with the character. And with the addition of the extra story stuff I put in, it's made it a little easier, like giving him some sort of like civilian thing to talk about, where he can. So basically, he's kind of got right now mini goal where it's like, I know out of character there are, those, like, there's pagan shit and like weird science stuff all over the map that you can see. And I have it so in character, it's like he's done some research. It's like there's mentions of weird things across the state, but no locations are mentioned. So it's something that is a talking point that eventually, like, I wanted to kind of do with Palpatine, is like maybe like hire some people to like, hey, do send out like, hey, I'm freelance researching for this kind of stuff, looking for oddities. Will pay for people to show them, and like kind of use those locations as like points of like where he does research and like looks into stuff, and like it doesn't, obviously it doesn't all have to make sense. 99% of it's going to be bullshit that doesn't make any logical sense other than to him.
Right.
And that's sort of something. It was just, it wasn't it just wasn't like a great day to be a character that didn't have a group of friends to go to, was the thing. It felt like one of those days where everyone's in a group and they're off doing their own thing. There wasn't really a lot of like small groups or individuals and that, just kind of like meshing. It was more of a, like, a lot of people are getting into groups and going out and doing stuff in the middle of nowhere. So it was kind of, it's a little hard when you're trying to do like a character that's new and you need like to build up the character too. Like, I have an idea of where I want the character to go, but I need to first establish them in the region, talk to people, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And like have the character figure out like where certain things stand, because eventually I'd love to have the character ideally like become, what was it Grace suggested, the Mayor of Rhodes. I don't know. I know there are characters in RP that claim themselves to be the mayors, but as far as I'm aware, there's no actual mechanic for it. Like, just people declare themselves that, and it's like, sure, okay. But it's like, I don't want to just like declare myself Mayor of Rhodes. I'd like to have the character, because that's not what the character do. I want them to like do something that justifies, that works towards that. And right now, I don't know what that would be, because that would be entirely RP driven, because there's no mechanics. So it's possible. It's just, it'll take, like, I have to figure out how the hell I'd actually RP that out and try and push dominoes in that direction. But I think the character will be better once things start moving along, once it's not just all like I'm just trying to figure out things, it'll be easier. But
Right.
until then, I just got to stick with it and such, yeah. So that's sort of what's going on with Steve Palpatine. I don't know when I'll play him again. I don't know if there's anything else with Ryan. I went to a poker, not poker, I wish it was a poker game, like a blackjack game. It was $50 there. That was fun. I get the freaking hands that were dealt were absolute shit. I got a freaking 20 first two cards. I'm like, yeah, I'm staying. Freaking dealer got 21.
Ooh.
I'm like, I won 2 hands, I think. Yeah, I won 2 hands out of all the hands I played. I lost $50, which was, I brought $60, 50 to gamble, 10 to drink. And I spent most of my drinking money after I lost all my money.
Oh. Right. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah. But I'm like, yeah, I was like, I didn't care. It's expendable money. I mean, the only thing I do is I keep $150 in my bank account at all times, because if my character was to get completely robbed of literally everything in his possession, $150 is what I need to buy everything again. So I have that emergency. If I get robbed and just stripped naked at the side of the road, I can get my stuff back. It's sort of emergency money. I hope I never have to use it, but just in case, I don't want to have to mooch off my friend.
Right,
Or
have
like,
that
hey,
safety net, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want to mooch off my friends where it's like, yeah, like I need money because I have nothing. I have no guns. I can't hunt. Help. Oh god, I just realized I won $100 in the event. I'm gonna have to. Damn it! Next time I'm in character, Ryan has to buy Moxie the freaking deluxe saddle, which I can't. I don't know if it's because it's probably because my graphics. I can't visually see a difference between the new and the deluxe saddle. Like, there's no visual difference for me. But also, in character wise, my horse is very particular. So she's gonna want the deluxe saddle because I've been promising it to her forever. Something I'm gonna have to remember. But yeah.
That's about it.
That's about it, yeah.
Besides Wild West RP, any normal stream stuff? Or was it just mostly just RP?
I want to say I did something not RP wise.
There would be
that
Remnant.
Was Remnant with you and Lucky. That was it.
Okay.
That was Remnant.
RDR2 or Remnant? Because that would be the last two things on the list.
I think RDR2 will probably take up more time than Remnant, right? So if we do Remnant now, then the halftime clip show.
I should have you know, I did a 3-hour spoiler cast, so I'm pretty sure I could probably break that down to half that time. But I did do a 3-hour spoiler cast. Just
of Remnant?
Of RDR2.
Oh, of RDR2. Okay. So
Yeah.
yes, definitely let's shift RDR2 to after the ad break. We're not sponsored. Sponsor us, please. Someone. I don't know, like NordVPN. I'm a role player. You like sponsoring role players? Sponsor me. I don't have enough viewers to even justify that.
Okay, so talk about Remnant, I guess?
Yeah, let's talk about Remnant. I haven't finished the game.
Now, last time you just had it installed, so I gotta hear. Like, what's your take on it, playing it so far?
Oh, I played before that. I had to reinstall it, was the thing. That was the problem. But I finished ROM is where I am. So I'm like, I guess half done, because there's only 2 worlds left after that, I think. At least that's what Lucky said. And I think I'm on the 3rd world. And I'm liking it. I think it's really... I kept mentioning it during when we played, that I literally have 1 million rings in my playthrough, and I have not seen any new guns at all, or at least not with any mechanics that I liked. Which, I'll go grab the machine gun, because I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing. Like,
yeah, I had no idea either. That was new to me.
Yeah, I can't believe I missed that experience thing, because I went through that entire area, and I thought I clicked on everything, but I guess I just didn't think to click on something that didn't look like I could click on it.
Yeah, it does. For those that don't know, Dark, he's talking about this one area. I think it's in B2, down in the basement at the main. What is it? Ward 13.
Ward 13. Yeah.
And so down in the basement area, I think it's B2, and if you actually have to play the game a little bit and then double back, because you get a Ward 13 key card immediately after spawning into the very first map. So you just gotta double back, and then now you got a Ward 13 card, and then somewhere on B2 there is an area that, and I will say, it does look like it's just like an aesthetic, just some kind of type of decorative object just sitting on a table, but apparently you could actually click on it, and if you do, you actually gain If I remember correctly, I think it's straight up experience for you and your team.
Yeah, it's
So
plus 1% extra experience, and then adds 1% every time you put a level into it.
right. So yeah, I had no idea about that either. I actually never thought about going down there. I think I tried, but it was like at the very, very, very beginning to where I didn't even go to the first map yet, and I just figured, oh, so.
Yeah, I didn't realize that once you have that key card, you can literally do the rest of the basement. I
Right.
thought I didn't even think to turn off the power again to turn off the fan,
Mm-hmm.
so you can go and grab that key.
Yeah, there's that little key. I think there's like a box of like ammo and some other stuff, small bits of loot, and yeah, you just got to turn that fan off. Well, you got to turn the power off to the entire place, and then you get behind there, and there's a key, and that would help you. And then you got to go back up to because I think that's on B3, and then you got to go back up to B2 to grab the submachine gun, and it does so much damage if you rank that thing up. It does a world of good. But yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, but I've already gotten so many more guns. Just like I had so many rings and necklaces. I'm like, is this it? There's no guns, no armor. Like I didn't get a new armor till the end of ROM. Like period. No new armor. I mean, there were a couple guns I got, but like I said, the mechanics to them were just they had weird non shoot mechanics. Like there was one like a proton pack where it's like sustained fire will deal more damage, and I'm like, I don't want something like that. I want to shoot bullets. And there's some they're just gimmicky, and I don't always like gimmicky guns. I mean, like in Borderlands, there's some gimmicky guns where it's like they're fun gimmicks.
Yeah.
But a lot of especially with the Borderland 3 guns, like the Mollywand weapons are just, a lot of them are just way too gimmicky for me liking to use them. Especially with a lot of them being like charge up to shoot. I'm like, I just want to pull the trigger and fire.
Yeah.
Which I guess you could just go for a Jacobs, which is just straight up damage and you shoot. But yeah, Remnants so far, the story, well, I can't comment on that till it's done. I'll give it the, fair. Fair is fair. I'm not going to comment on the story until it's done, but it's interesting. And I'm not entirely sure where it's going to go. I think it's kind of, I don't know, the beginning was kind of interesting where it's just your character in modern clothes, but they've got a giant-ass sword, and they go on a wooden boat to, like, some adventure. It's kind of like, huh. I was like, that's a little strange. I don't remember what the explanation was for that, or if they've given one yet. It was probably something was said in the tutorial I'm just forgetting.
Yeah, I can definitely agree to that, to where I want to say, at least in my playthrough so far, the story does feel very linear, and most of the game, I think, is through the gameplay, from what I've experienced. So, yeah. Also, I'm kind of curious. Have you ever got to the swamp yet?
Oh, I'm in the swamp right now.
Oh, you are?
I think I've cleared the first boss in the swamp.
Oh, yeah, the big guy with the hammer?
Yes, that guy took a while, mostly because of all the ads that kept popping up because he broke the jugs.
Yeah, I think my first experience with him, I actually had Lucky with me. He was the entire experience in the swamp was actually me and Lucky on stream, but luckily I'm doing an off-stream playthrough. I went through that same area, and it was actually kind of rough if you go in solo. But
oh yeah, it's not. It is rough if you do it solo. Yep.
And I believe that all of my playthroughs should be on normal. It felt like a breeze when I had Lucky with me, but doing it solo, it seemed it was pretty harsh a little bit. Also, you get like kind of like these alligator-looking monsters. They would sink down, and then they would come right at you, and you almost sometimes don't even see them until they pop up again, and it's like right in your face. Oh god, I hated that so bad.
It's just a lot of enemies that are tightly grouped together, but also enemies with annoying mechanics too.
I do want to give you actually a heads up. Off stream, I actually completed, I think, the final boss to the swamp. If that's the final boss, do a favor. Go back to Ward 13. Do you know about the Swarm mod? There's a mod you could add to your weapon, and it's called Swarm.
Okay, what's it do?
You basically have a whole bunch of insects just gnaw and pick away at the enemy. You spawn them, you can't kill them, and they do so much fucking damage, dude. They do so much damage. There was no way I was gonna be able to complete that last boss without it. Solo. I needed that.
Alright, I will keep that in mind.
I don't know how I got it. All I just know is I went back to Ward 13. I remember being with Lucky, and it was like, dude, the Swarm mod is so deadly. It is a must. It hovers for like what feels like almost a minute, but in gameplay, you're just having like so much devastation going on. I might actually be taking on the last boss after this stream. I'm actually going to be playing a little bit of Remnant, because I think on my main character on stream, I haven't got my... I didn't get the submachine gun, so I got to do all that. But afterwards, I need to go back to Ward 13. I need to see if that freaking Swarm mod is available. So I need to slap that on every freaking gun. It is devastating. You can't kill it. It could only attack. And when it does damage, it does damage.
That's pretty damn good. I think I'll keep that in my back pocket.
In my opinion, I felt like there was no way. I can't really explain it because, well, I mean, is a boss really spoilers?
I mean, not really. Well,
it depends on how you look at it, really.
Not really. This isn't a game where it's gonna be like, oh my god, you had to fight them?
Yeah. Basically, the boss I'm at on stream, my stream character, I guess you could say, there's a bridge, and you got two insects on either side. You can fall off the bridge. I've done it multiple times. Sometimes not by my doing, but because there's an attack that it can knock you back, so you gotta go through the animation, and by doing the animation, if you're too close to the edge, well, you're off the cliff. So, you're off the bridge, and it's a pain in the ass. So basically, you're getting attacked from two angles on a bridge, and they stay on both sides, and if one is low, the other one will start attacking, and it's a whole back and forth, and you gotta juggle that, and it's so hard.
Oh god.
So because I had a swarm, I was able to throw an attack on one and kind of focus on the other. And there's certain attacks that you just have to time out perfectly, otherwise you get double dunked on in the process. And yeah, it's... It was challenging. I'm not looking forward to it after this stream, but oh god. I gotta try. I hope Lucky doesn't join me, so I want to try and see if I could turn that off, so that way I could take him on by myself.
I mean, you can switch your game to like offline mode.
Oh yeah. I know I could do that. Yeah, it's... Anyway, I just want... Basically, I want to fight the guy again on stream and see if that's not a fluke. That's all I'm saying. So... Yeah, so I'm going to be doing that off stream. Or, well, not off stream, but after the podcast. And yeah, all I just know is hanging out with Dark and Lucky. That was just so much fun. Just playing with you guys. It was, dude, that was just a freaking blast. I do want to say, there's just something about taking on Shroud that I just enjoy thoroughly. To where it's because you're so low on basically everything. So you're like just starting out, building up your gear and all that. And I kind of feel like, at least in my opinion, because you're kind of like nerfed because you're just starting out, that's why I feel I feel an exhilaration after taking out Shroud. So that was like a huge relief just being able to whoop that guy's ass. Because we're all kind of like nerfed just starting out, and so being able to take him on, I felt like that was so worth. Also, I'm hearing a lot of rustling over there, so are we good, or what's going on with you?
Oh, rustling. I guess my mic.
It sounded like you were messing around with your mic or something.
I don't know. I was just... Yeah, I think I'm good. Okay. I guess my mic was picking up other stuff. I don't know. Maybe I was accidentally hitting my mic. I'm playing with a pencil in my hand. I'm not paying attention to what my hands are doing.
Yeah, I just heard like some popping and something just brushed up against the mic or something. So
yeah, I kind of just
okay
awkwardly leaned back in my chair where I had my back on the bottom of my chair. And my feet up on my desk. Okay. I was just like, I just slid down. And I'm like, I'll just stay here for a while.
But what did you think about the tri-stream that we all did?
Oh, that was super fun. Super, super, super fun. Looking forward to more.
Yeah, and I guess we could easily say we are going to be doing another tri-stream on, I believe, Monday, right? Should be...
Yes, we've scheduled a Monday.
Should be 4 p.m. my time, 6 Lucky's time, 7 your time, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds correct.
So yeah, that's going to be all on Monday. That's going to be awesome. I know I'm going to be looking forward to it. So I guess we're at the top of the hour. Let's move on over to some clips.
Clipperinos.
I'm not sure if we are going to be able to get into RDR2 today. I mean, it's just I don't know how long you're going to go. I don't know what, you know. It's just timing.
Want to just dedicate an entire podcast to Red Dead Redemption 2? I mean, we could do it. I mean, I imagine we could do it. Yeah.
Well, this is really more of the idea that maybe an After Dark could that work?
I
don't know.
I guess it could work. I mean,
and to be fair, I actually do kind of like the idea that I could actually say spoilers in my title too, because I don't necessarily have that. I do have the on-screen spoiler. I do have that all set. It's like, bam, right there. Set and ready to go, but, yeah.
Yeah, I want to make that a little more, like, visible. Like, that's just up there in the top left. Maybe, like, bigger and, like, a bright
Well, I also
color.
don't want it to blend into, like, anything else, so, like...
Well, make it, like, lime green or something. And like go across the center of the screen.
You mean you want it bigger?
Well, yeah, it's like up. It's just up there, just all neutral up in the top.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
You want it like that, like this? You want it to be covering chat? You want it where it is there? I don't know how big you freaking want it. There, well, and I'll change the color. Later, though. Later. There we go. Hopefully I don't skip any of these clips. Loading them in. Oh, here we go. This should be 4.
I feel like it's gonna be daytime.
Do this one. And I guess since mine are already loaded up, we'll go ahead and start mine first, I suppose.
Okay, so.
Okay. And also need a screen share. Screen share. Screens. Actually applications, I guess. We want that. Oh, good. All right. And go down. Here. Oh, oh, right. I got a full screen, right? There we go. Awesome. And for some reason, why is that missing in my OBS? Weird. Okay, where... Why is the title of our podcast not up there? Oh, wait, there it is. Never mind. I thought I put never... I'm just all over the place. Okay. Yeah, we'll start with mine first. If I remember correctly, I think this one's me doing RDR2. Basically, there's just something about the ability of slow motion and being able to, like, kind of like do slow motion what feels like in real time, and it almost seems like it's a scene out of a movie. And the fact that I just blow a guy's face off in midair, I just thought it was funny. I kind of explained why after. Anyway, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait. I think I have it muted. God damn it! I'm the worst. Okay, should be good.
I guess I'm all yours.
Okay, that was pretty cool. Okay, that was pretty cool. I shoot a guy, take him out. There was a guy behind him, runs right into his horse. He is launched in midair, and I shoot the guy right in the face. I don't know why, I just thought that was funny. Just the idea of he's just in slow motion. If he was smiling, oh my god, that would be hilarious. Just to get a face just blown off. Alright. Silent Sentry. Self-explanatory.
Hey, I like your hat, brother. Ever
Yeah.
thought about joining Redneck News?
Listen, all right, I don't associate with the rednecks. I lean more white trash than redneck, all right?
you fucking scumbag. I'm gonna come for you.
Yeah, I bet you will.
You denim-wearing bastard.
Yeah, you wish you could look as good as me wearing this vest, you son of a bitch.
You look like dog shit that's been left in the sun.
Good luck being someone's fleshlight in prison.
Hey, oh, that's dirty.
Yeah, well, you did it to your damn self. How's it going, darling?
Pretty good.
Hey, I like your hat, brother.
Yeah.
Ever thought about joining?
Oh, man. Alright. This is actually another one of me. So, if you remember correctly, there was a time to where, my streaming PC just got nuked. And turns out it was a whole thing with the power supply. Well, I fixed it. It's back to working. And I will just have you know, Microsoft is not hackers. Oh crap, it's... God damn it. I screwed that up. Me and my timing, I'm the worst. Is not hackers. 100%. They are not hackers. I mean, they do a bunch of scummy shit, but they, I guarantee you, are not hackers. They do a lot of stuff, but hacking is not one of them. They would not hack this PC. I mean, they did nuke it, but you know, they're not terrible. They wouldn't do this. That's what that is. Is not hackers. So that actually was captured on my streaming PC. And it's just kind of weird to see my streaming PC just kind of like flip out like that, and yeah. Do I have this muted? Of course I do. I should just turn that crap off. Right. This is more Ron Otterman. Silent Sentry. Self-explanatory.
You know, it's just it's one of those ones. So, what'd you say your name was, by the way?
Pixie.
Oh, Pixie. Oh, you look different. You've done something with your hair. I like it.
Yeah. Just a little different with my hair.
Right. Well,
Okay, over there.
this is Vincent. He's our intern. Vincent, getting this audio? Thank you. All right. So, obviously, with all this psychological trauma going on within the police department, you'll be having quite the...
Oh, man. Alright. This is actually from ItMeJP. And basically, this is just him cooking with his... I think they're actually married now. They kind of did like a cooking stream, just him and his wife, and I just thought this was a little funny. Anyway.
It's just the most funny because nobody would expect me to be the one that's like, let me tell you about hardcore BDSM.
My nickname is Forrest Gimp. That's true. That's pretty good. Yeah, my safe word is just run. My safe run, Forrest, run.
Ooh. We should bake more often.
That was funny. Dark Youth still with us? Take that as a no. Alright. Well, apparently I just now realized halfway through the podcast that, well, I'm all alone over here. Alright, well, whatever. It's all good. Let's just hope to God that Dark gets back. Alright, so these are, well, Dark's stuff, I don't know if he is wanting to set up anything or what have you. I'm just unmuting everything. That wasn't needed. Alright. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Ninja fucking guy! Come on, man!
I'm on Euro 6. You got green.
Oh, right here, right here. Hey! Hey!
655 now merging northbound.
Oh my god!
Continuing north.
Okay, not going anywhere.
Oh my god! No way was that Chang. Ninja fucking guy! Come on, man!
Alright, that was the first clip. I'm assuming there's probably some tech issues. Oh, we good?
Oh, why is my camera on? What the fuck? Go.
Hey, we finally got the. Okay. I see what this is.
I just ripped my webcam out of my. I'm like, fuck no. I forgot to unplug it. I unplug my webcam every time I'm not using it because. Yeah, I don't need to. One, it's also
true.
One, paranoia. Two, it's just one extra wire I don't need plugged into my computer. They only hire professional police officers. Yep. Only the most professional police officers on the LSPD. I don't know why I all of a sudden couldn't speak anymore.
I was noticing you were silent, so I was like, what's going on? Did you just leave the room?
I have no idea what happened. No idea.
And then I look at my screen and I notice there's like this little icon to where it's like highlighted, and I thought, oh, is that like a message or something right there? But then I just see that it's just spectators, so
yeah,
so I thought maybe you were having technical issues and you sent me a message, and I was actually gonna backtrack and see what's going on.
Huh. I don't know, maybe something happened and it didn't put when the video. I don't know. I don't know. It just all of a sudden stopped working.
All right. Well, we're moving on to the next clip here. So I think this is number 2.
Yes, this is number 2.
Want to play back any of the other ones I just played, or just move on?
No, I watched them.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
This is another Brenda Ashland, police officer Brenda Pancakes clip. Yeah, just play it.
Watch your spacing here. Hey, film, they're taking a jump.
434's going in!
They landed it.
No, they went to the water. They went into the water. They're in the water right now. They're climbing up. One just climbed up right now.
Go one heading eastbound on the docks.
My bad.
2 under the docks heading eastbound. We got assaulting on the dock.
Oh, it's a fucking ass! That's my car, you idiot!
That's fired.
Yeah, he's found backing up the car and pushing the cruiser off the dock.
Watch your spacing here.
Oh man, that's
they're taking it down.
That's great.
And the next one should be okay. This is Among Us. For anyone who hasn't known this game, this is a highlight from Jeremy from Achievement Hunter. His stream, and he is playing with Matt, also from Achievement Hunter, and they were playing with I think viewers, or probably mods, more likely. I don't remember. I caught the last part of the stream, and I caught this part, which is great. Glad someone got a good clip of it.
Here we go.
Stay away from friend Matt. Friend Matt.
Friend Matt!
Marcus. Oh, let me only.
No! Friend Matt! Friend Matt! No!
Wait, you guys get double killed?
No! Friend Matt!
No.
She was 6 years old. He was 6 years old.
Wait, that's a lot of kills in
Three
one
people
round.
died? Yeah.
Where was the body?
That makes a lot more sense, actually.
Well, this one was in the security room. Doesn't matter where
fuck.
Jeremy, Matt, and everyone else was.
We like.
Wait, that was you said the security.
Oh my god.
Stay away from front, Matt.
That is.
Among Us is so fucking great.
I so want to play Among Us, but it's like one of it. I was talking to Dark about this before the podcast. Like, it really is a game to where it's like we don't have enough friends in order to do it. But I think I saw it last night. I was actually watching some Among Us. I could have swore there was a few times to where there was like a multi-kill. It's so baffling when I see that only one person seems to really notice. Because they're like, oh my god, 3 people got killed? And then like the rest of them are like, well, this guy was over at this location. Like, are you not impressed that they just pulled off like a double or triple kill? And it's like, what?
Well, it's hard to know, and that's the thing, is you gotta be careful when people say that. It's like they pulled off a double kill.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't know that.
True.
You don't know they pulled off a double kill. Especially if someone had to mention that, and it's like, they didn't see
Well,
Jeremy
it was just you see the screen that pops up after, and you see all the people that died. Because when it goes to the discussion, all the dead bodies are X'd out, so they can't talk.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, when you see that screen, it's like, well, I know he was alive before, but now there's, you know, usually it's like one by one, but when you see like multiple, it's like, I don't know. This is something I just noticed last night, so. But anyway.
So this next clip is from one of my RP buddies, Elite. He plays Eddie Collins, who runs the horse racing stuff, and the clip will speak for itself.
All right.
I feel like it's gonna be daytime by the time they get back with the pelts.
Back that ass up. What are you doing?
The horses need to just cooperate. Jesus Christ! Jeez!
What are you doing? Eddie, why? What?
Jeez!
How the hell did that happen?
Oh, I think I have a clip from my,
Yeah, break it out.
When was that? It's something similar. That says August 23rd. I don't know. Did I show? I don't remember if I showed this last time. No, I think I showed it last time.
Okay.
It was like where I was in the middle of town and that one carriage at the end, which just freaking started flying around. I think
remember that one. It might be one of those things. If I see it, I'll remember. But
yeah, hold on. Let me just.
I don't remember.
That? I can't go back into my did I give it to you because it was my podcast that I did that one on.
Oh. To be honest, I actually don't mind actually sending out the clips just as like a reference.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Okay, I'm actually gonna play this and see if I did see it before.
Okay.
So.
Morning.
So you guys should be able to hear it, but, well, yeah, I did not see this. I did not see this.
Okay.
I did not see this. I don't recall, or at least I don't recall seeing it. Maybe you did, and I just forgot, but okay. I don't recall seeing this, so we're gonna add that.
Okay.
So here we go. Bam and bam. Let's see, we were at
that one.
I believe this one.
Yeah. This is Prox, also a RP buddy of mine. He plays Thatcher Ford. You recognize the voice. He was there with Eddie during the that horse carriage incident. He was the guy with Eddie when that happened.
All right.
So
make sure that it's not muted. Perfect. And play.
I want you to be okay.
All right, and this second card here, when we're talking still about your present feelings, it's the Two of Wands. It's reversed. Shows that you're a person that's very often part of the action. You have a passion for life. You like.
I didn't even know that was a thing. So the chair has the ragdoll physics, but the character sitting in the chair goes with the ragdoll physics.
I'm
That is
pretty
hilarious.
sure he's the only one who saw it, because
no one else reacted. Usually, whenever
Unless everyone
crap
was
like
just I'm not gonna say anything.
Usually, when I see crap like that happen, like there's usually like a few people that just have that open hot mic on, and it's like you hear the reaction, like what the fuck is this? You know, and yeah. But yeah, you only hear him, so yeah, it's very possible that it was just on his end.
This is another
correct me if I'm wrong.
Or Among Us.
One of the last times that you played Ryan Hastings, at least when I was in chat, didn't you spawn in one day? I forget when, but didn't you spawn in one day? It looked like it was at night, and people were telling you, "Hey Ryan, do you not see this wagon over here? Watch where you're going." I don't see anything.
Oh my
there.
god, that is the freaking wagon thing, and I just pretended everyone was crazy. Yeah. Yep, I remember that. Eli's like, "Hey, Ryan, there's this crazy wagon here." I'm like, "You're nuts, Eli. You need to lie down or a drink."
And it seemed like everyone around town, "Do you see this? I think he's got a demon wagon up in there. You gotta be careful with that demon wagon."
Oh my god, that was so funny. The guy had the PTSD for the demon wagon. Oh, that was a good night.
Oh man.
Oh lord.
But anyway, here we go. Looks like it's more Among Us. Good stuff. Let's see what it is.
Okay, so I have a task in here. Wait, can you just watch me go in?
Hey, Leech, you're actually trolling.
All right, what, dude? There was
You're
I don't
trolling,
know
dude.
what's going on with like the
We were
flooring in
outside
this
the
spaceship,
decontamination,
but
and then you
I was just
jumped
trying to
into your
walk and I
pants, bro.
fell into a bit, bro.
Oh, he got got too.
Yeah,
oh, that is
same
great.
thing happened to me, except I popped out and killed the person. Because they stood still and like watched me do it. Like, did he just do that in front of me? And I popped out and I'm like, fuck, snapped his neck. I'm like, I ran. I'm like, oh, fucked.
Honestly, I also love the timing. Right when he sees it, you just see him run off. He immediately calls a meeting.
Yeah. Slams that emergency beating button.
I almost want to say you can hear the button get slammed when yeah. Oh god. I'm pretty sure well, actually no, I don't think I've seen that yet, but that was one of my fears. If I ever played that game, I'm positive that would happen to me. Okay, I think it's good. I jump in, you gotta do the animation, and someone just walks in. Oh shit, now I have to explain myself. Oh god. I don't want to be in that situation, but it's gonna suck. Anyway, so this is the clip that apparently
may or may not have been played before.
May or may not have been played before. But I don't recall it, but let's see what happens. I didn't play the entire thing, so, but here we go.
Morning. Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing?
A wagon stuck and not moving at all. Because I think we are seeing the same thing. Someone should really deal with that.
I think Valentine's haunted.
Maybe it is. Oh, good stuff. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't see that. I'm pretty sure I didn't see that, but that is hilarious.
You might want to click off before that auto plays my stream, where it's just my intermission screen for the whole time. Or a flicker.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
The whole.
Yeah, it just now clicked on. Get rid of all those. Okay. What do we have here? And bam. Oh, alright. Sorry. I meant to just stop the screen share.
Yeah.
I'm the worst.
Technical difficulties.
So, yeah, I guess we actually do have enough time to talk about RDR2 here. I think we got time.
Okay.
So, well, you're the one that... I played it a long time ago, so obviously the floor is yours. By the way, spoilers for RDR2, so if it's not... If you think you're gonna play it, probably don't watch it.
You should.
Or you could just lurk in the background with the, whatchamacallit off, so...
Sound.
Yeah. I'm just going through to change the font here, or color of the spoiler message. So, yeah. What do you think of RDR2 and your entire playthrough, so on and so forth?
Absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. I loved every moment of it. It was so good, and it did such a good job of, like, it, because there's certain expectations that like, certain characters are going to live because you kill them in Red Dead 1. Like, Dutch is going to survive. That Bill
Williamson.
Yeah, Bill Williamson, Javier, who I noted he's like in one or two missions during the when you're at your first camp, but then he doesn't show up again until like the last train heist. Like, he completely disappears from any missions for the rest of the game. At least I don't remember him in like any other ones. I was just like, holy shit, when did Javier get back? And oh no, it was only 3. Right, because you deal with Bill in New Austin, then you deal with Javier over in Mexico, and then you deal with Dutch up in Blackwater.
Right.
But I did remember, oh god, what was it? Was the one of the agents, not the main one, but the sidekick, who's the main agent from the first game.
Oh yeah,
Ross.
Yeah, I want to say
it
Ross.
Was Milton and Ross is from. I had to look it up again because I'm like, are these two from it? No, Ross is. I knew.
Yeah,
I
one of them
recognized
is,
names.
the other one's not. He's
Yeah, all throughout this game, I just kept thinking, man, I don't remember Red Dead 1 at all. I remember bits and pieces and general story ideas, but I was like, man, I couldn't even remember. I just remember Dutch was. I just remember Dutch was in the first one because I remembered that you killed the leader of your old gang in it. And I'm like, I was like, man, I don't remember a lot of things. But fun game. Oh my god. The only down thing is the prologue. Holy crap. What just a slog of a prologue. And like, the game is a breeze after that. Like, yeah, you could say the epilogue's a bit of a slog, but it's an enjoyable, like, wholesome slog. Whereas the prologue in the up in the mountains is just, it just drags and drags. But once you're out of there, it's great. It's all smooth sailing, and it feels like the game actually goes places.
Okay.
I think I didn't know Guarma was was a part. That's one thing that I was never spoiled on. I didn't know that Guarma was actually a thing in the game, which I mentioned before. I don't know if it's on the podcast, but I mentioned it when I was streaming RP, that Guarma was mentioned as a place to go in RP, but I didn't know it was a thing in the game. So I was like, I have no idea what the hell Guarma is. I just thought they were talking about some actual island. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of weird that they're talking about it like that. And I'm like, oh, then I played the Guarma part of the game, and I'm like, oh, it's a real place in the game. Oh. Which you can get there in RP if you pay $10. Is take a boat to Guarma. But I didn't know it was a thing, so I obviously assumed it wasn't an actual thing for, in RP. But the Guarma part, that went by pretty fast. Guarma was interesting, and it was fun. The Guarma section was fun. I think it was just about as long as it needed to be. It was a nice little break up in that. And that's really about Guarma's about when you start seeing. Not that Dutch didn't have. Well, honestly, you could say Dutch was having like really stupid ideas from the beginning, but I personally put the start of his stupidity with everything in Rhodes, when he's dealing with both the Greys and the Braithwaites.
Right.
That playing them against each other, and then that gets oh god, what was his name? Sean, the Irish lad that you save and then gets his head blown off in Rhodes.
Oh right. Oh god,
Sean?
what was
Is it
his
Sean?
name? I completely
I
forgot.
want to say Sean. I liked him. I was starting to like him, and then he got his head blown in.
Yeah.
It's like, well, shit. Oh, Lenny. When Lenny and Hosea died, oh, my heart. I was like, no, Lenny. I was like, oh no. I mean, you expect the characters to die,
Right.
which that's one point I wanted to say. Is like, they didn't go away like, oh, everyone died, but it was like, I don't remember. Was Uncle in Red Dead 1?
He was.
He was. Okay. I couldn't remember. I could not for the life of me remember if Uncle was in Red Dead 1 or not. Because he's there at the end.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Because he's there at the end and in the place, and I'm like, wow, he seems pretty permanently launched. And oh god, I'm gonna be bad at names. Well, Sadie goes off to do her own bounty hunting stuff. And Charles goes to Canada. So that gets them both out of the area for when Red Dead 1 happens. Yeah, actually, a significant amount of the gang actually survives, which I was pleasantly surprised by. I thought it was going to be a lot more of a slaughter. But, yeah. Oh my god, shooting Micah was so rewarding. Like, I'll give the voice actor for Micah prompts. He played such a good person that you just constantly want to you just want to put a bullet through his head. Like, you just want to like punch his teeth in or something. Like, god, you just can't not hate Micah, and he plays it so well. Like, he's not a character you're supposed to like.
Right.
And oh god, I want to try and think of favorite characters. I love Charles. Charles was great. Lenny was good. I guess I could say, yeah, I liked Arthur. I mean, I was gonna say that's the person you play as, but it's also a game where you're playing someone with an actual personality. I really liked Arthur. Jose, I liked. Oh god, there were so many likable characters, and a lot of the characters I don't feel like. Maybe it's because I just didn't do as much of the around camp talk to people, but I feel like some of them just didn't get as much screen time, aka like mission time, as you think. Like, oh god, the lady that she gets shotgunned by the head bitch lady.
How can you forget Molly O'Shea?
Molly O'Shea, right? Yep. Yeah, she's the one who gets shotgunned, right?
Molly O'Shea is the one that basically there's little hints if you actually stayed around at camp. If you stayed around at camp, if you listen to her dialogue closely, you start to notice she kind of gives off these slight hints of, because it slowly starts to become clear that she only hangs around Dutch, and she hangs around Dutch because he's going to have all the information. So she's purposely hanging out with him just so that way she could give information to the feds. And so basically everything just kind of boiled over, and she comes back because basically it was when you left to the island and then you came back, like everything just went to shit. You kind of all meet up in the swamp, there's a big fight, you dodge that, and then eventually everything kind of settles down a little bit, you find a new place, and then now here comes Molly, and she's almost kind of like belligerent, kind of like maybe drunk a little bit, and she's just letting it all hang out. Like, yeah, I told everybody, I told the entire town, and you could see the look and expressions on everyone in that scene. Honestly, that was... It pains me that that was the one scene that you have missing on your stream. So, I wanted to see that scene. I wanted to see your reaction to it.
It's there on that stream.
No, it's not.
I'm telling you.
No, it's not.
Really?
It is not. I looked it up because I figured, because it should have been at stream 9 is when everything takes place. It is missing. It's not there. You're already breaking Marston out of prison. I even created a backlog of everything that takes place. So I figured, oh, you're just going to say, well, it's part 6. Part 6, you searched a house. Then you did a Beau Gray mission. Then you did a Bill Williamson mission. Then you did a Hosea mission. Then you stealed some horses. Another Hosea mission. You robbed a stagecoach. You did a Bill Williamson mission. And then you did a Micaiah mission. Then part 7. This is supposed to be the one that you told me it takes place. You did a Bill Williamson robbery. Then you did a Dutch mission. Ran into a gang of kids. That was actually kind of interesting when I first saw that. Because usually GTA, they don't... Rockstar, they usually don't have kids too much. And to have them, like... You see, like, a local street gang with guns. That was... When I first saw that, it kind of took me by surprise, because that was a real thing, so it's kind of funny that they would kind of keep accuracy to that. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then you went to the swamp, and exact same thing that happened to me. You see the woman in white on her knees crying, you go to her, and you think, oh, it's going to be a mission. So you go over to her, she freaks out, cuts you with a knife, and then... almost like these cannibals just come out of the swamp and they start swarming you. So yeah, I remember you ran into them, and then plus, I think there was even a mission kind of to like introduce kind of like the shady people at night that hang around the swamp area. And then, so after you did that swamp mission, you then did Strauss, his mission. He was the guy doing the... you had to go get money. He was the loan shark for the
loan shark.
So you did a Strauss mission. Then you ran into Mary. Mary's supposed to be the kind of like they never married, but it was like his girlfriend. It was Arthur's girlfriend, but she has father issues. Well, she loves her father, but like he's drunk, he's gambling, he's not the best of father, and basically Arthur's trying to tell Mary, hey, you need to get away from this guy and be on your own. You're better off without him. And she has that. It's her father, so she kind of feels like a need to kind of keep him in her life, but he is the guy that you kind of need to get away from. But so you hang out with Mary. I believe you actually even went to the Saint Denis show, and I think you tried to put your arm around Mary, but she kind of like looked over at you, and he did the whole thing behind the back. I got an itch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you did that. So I guess you did one of her missions, and then you spent time with Mary. Then you saw the professor, and oh wait, no, not the other professor, the guy that was. He was doing the electric chair, and you got all the parts, and you got the criminal, and they were gonna show the new way of capital punishment, and
the humane way of
yeah, they say it's very humane, very, and yeah, so capital punishment, and I believe the guy himself gets electrocuted, not the not the criminal, the professor that is trying to get all this, trying to show the new way of capital punishment. So he dies. And then you went to a new gallery where apparently this guy by the name of Charles, different Charles from the one in the group. I believe Charles, he's the Native American, but he also has like his parents are black and Native American, if I remember correctly. I think that's the Charles you're thinking of. But this is a different Charles. He's kind of like a French guy. Speaks with an accent. He might be French. I wanna say he's French. But he has sex with every woman in town, and it turns out some of these women, they have their own lives. So husbands are like seeing their wives spread nude at this gallery, and oh god, it's such an atrocity. You could see her wares. Oh my god. So yeah, so then you come across Charles, the nude painter, as you could say, and so you did that. Then it ended with you went to go see the other professor. I first ran into him to where you did the battleships. You did like this little RC, like on water battleships, and you kind of like destroy the other ships. It's like a little. I didn't write down what you did, but you went to see him essentially. To be honest, I actually kind of skipped him a little bit, so I was actually kind of in another playthrough. I want to go hang out with that guy. So, and then that's how part 7 ended. Part 8, and this is around the time to where I should have seen Molly O'Shea get shot. And so you did a Bronte. Oh yeah, what is it? I forget his name, but I remember the name Bronte. He threw this luxurious party. It looks really good at night. Everyone's dressed to the nines.
Party.
Yeah. So you go to his place. You do that party. You did that, and then you did a Mary Beth mission. I kind of like Mary Beth a little bit. Real quick, Mary Beth, did you ever meet her as Marston by any chance?
I don't know. I don't think so, no.
I'm kind of curious now. Did you meet anybody from the people that you met with Arthur, but do it with, freaking Marston?
Yes, actually, the veteran guy.
Okay, so
I
you
did
met
the
him.
last mission with him as
So you didn't come across
As
Rain's
Marston.
Fall. You didn't come across. I actually have a small list here. By the way, there is people you can meet as Marston. Oh, maybe I don't have the list. I thought I did. Rats. I thought I made a list. Maybe I didn't. My notes are all kind of like jumbled up, so I gotta like hunt everything down. I thought I made a list. Maybe I didn't. Oh god, this is gonna take me a second. If I even have it. Yeah, I just have a list of callbacks, but there should be a list. Yeah, I guess I don't have it. God. Yeah, but there's a list of people that you could actually go meet. Like one, I actually ended up seeing it on YouTube, but I didn't see it in my original playthrough, sadly. But do you know a woman that you come across her? I actually don't really know her name too much. I have down her name as Charlotte, but I don't remember her ever saying her name. You first come across her, she's a side thing. She's just a person of interest, I guess you could say. Her husband died. She just finished burying her husband, and basically she's alone, scared, and Arthur teaches her to hunt. I don't know if you remember her. She's far north.
Her, yeah.
Very far north. So
yes, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay, so apparently as Arthur, you could, as Marston, you could actually go and meet her. And they do have a cutscene and a small interaction. I actually thought it was kind of cool. So you didn't know any of those people? Mary Beth, Rains Fall, Charlotte? You didn't know you could meet them as Arthur? Or Marston?
I haven't played much after I completed the game. I've been meaning to go back and do that off stream. But
yeah, I met a few of them, but I didn't meet all of them. You actually kind of see some of that if you ever, like when you complete the game, if you met them, you already have an idea of what they're doing, actually. I'm trying to think of, who's the butcher's name at the camp?
Pearson?
Pearson, that's his name. Yeah, like, when the game kind of ends, you kind of see where, like, everyone ran off to. And Pearson actually is one of the gun guys, and I think he replaces the gun guy at Valentine. If you ever go to Valentine as Marston, you would actually see Pearson.
Oh, nice.
But you gotta go all the way over in order to do that. Sadly, there's no real cutscene, but there is dialogue and interaction, and so it's kind of awesome. But yeah, there's certain individuals all over the map. Some of them are kind of obvious, like Charlotte. She never left her area; like she stayed there. And yeah, so there's like a reaction with her. That one actually has a full-fledged cutscene. Pearson, it's just dialogue back and forth. Rains Fall and Mary Beth, I think those were the two I actually met. And, oh god, I wanted Mary Beth. Mary Beth hands you a book. It's supposed to be a novel. And it's one of her, in her own words, she says, "This is my latest novel. I want you to have it. I know it's a bunch of, like, romantic, it's a romantic novel, but you're probably not into that. They're kind of cheesy, but I like them." And, oh god, I think I told Josh about this. I so wanted her to make a reference to the camp. That would have been awesome. Like, some woman goes off, stranded, and then, like, finds a camp, and then I would love something like that. Like, she's at a camp, she finds herself at a camp, whatever the case may be. Some dude from a camp comes running into town, meets the woman, whatever. I would have loved some kind of type of hint like that. I think that would have been really awesome. But that's just me being a fanboy of like, what if she gave him like a book and then you start reading it and then like you clearly see like she's talking about the camp. Of course, that's just me being me. I kind of read it and it was kind of generic stuff. So sadly, I didn't really go anywhere. But a part of me wanted to see the camp in that dialogue. But yeah, apparently in my playthrough, I did meet Mary Beth and I did meet Rain's Fall, and yeah, it was kind of interesting seeing that.
Yeah.
But also moving on, so apparently after you did a Mary Beth mission, you met Rain's Fall for the very first time in Saint Denis, and then you went to a ship, you started gambling, had a shootout, and then you had a robbery with Micaiah, and then you came across the William Tell brothers. The brothers that are trying to win over this woman's heart, and you've got to kick them in the nuts. Oh my god. So you did a game of William Tell with them. So apparently they wanted you to shoot things off their head.
Yep, that was...
Oh, that's...
Then I later encountered them as John and kicked them in the balls.
Yep.
Which I think it's interesting. I was like, I wonder how people react. Like no, they just like the veteran guy who you go fishing with. I went there, finished the last one as John, and he's just like, "Hey, buddy." It's like, okay, they just act like it was John the whole time that started the storyline. Okay.
And then you ended up stealing some documents for Eagle's Fall. That's Rain's Fall's son.
Right.
And then you hanged out with my girl, Sadie Adler.
Sadie's great.
I love Sadie. She was like one of my favorite characters throughout the entire game. In terms of like, not from like the previous installation, but like someone like completely organic and new to the series. She was the one I think was my favorite out of everybody.
Oh yeah, it's so funny.
Go ahead.
That Grace is like when she's watching my stream, and she's like, "Yeah, my character's totally like Sadie." It's like, yeah, actually, Grace from RB who I hang out with, it's like, wow, yeah, it's essentially very much like her. And then there was the one mission where you're at the bounty and the bear shows up out of nowhere, and I'm like, holy shit. This is totally like a Ryan Grace moment where we're just doing something and then all of a sudden wild animal. It was so great. I was like, oh my god, it's just like one of our adventures.
And then you helped out Charles get out of town. Charles being the painter, you helped him out of town. He was dressed in drag, if you remember.
Yep.
And then you did a Dutch mission, another Dutch mission, and then another moment that, oh god, I hated to see him go. Hosea's death.
Yep.
You do that bank robbery, they're just outside, bam. Ugh. And so you do that, and then of course that leads to essentially trying to get on a ship, and you have the shipwreck, and you go to the new town. You went through that entire island, and then you ended the stream by doing the swamp fight on easy, which I would not mind to show what I mean by easy mode. But yeah, according to what I see, and then I did see what would have been 9 live, because I kept thinking, oh, the moment with Molly O'Shea is around the corner, and then I see you breaking Marston out, and then you're shooting O'Driscoll in the face, and I'm like, no, it passed. So it already happened. So then you said, oh yeah, that's in part 7. It's not there, dude. It's not there. You did do it because I did bring it up,
yeah.
and
I remember it, yeah.
Mhm.
And I was streaming it. I wonder if maybe there was a part that got deleted, or maybe it was one of those things where the internet crapped out and I had to get rid of like a section of, it could have been the internet died around that point. I remember I was having technical difficulties with some of those Red Dead streams. So it's possible that technical difficulties have erased the stream of it.
I have two guesses. Either one, it could have been something technical that was out of hands and it just happened, like exactly what you just said. Or, and this is my possible theory, I'm thinking you did mostly Ryan Hastings RPing. The internet went out of whack, but it still labeled the VOD as Ryan Hastings, and I think you took it that, oh, I did Ryan Hastings, so that's a RP thing. And you just skipped it thinking that, oh, it's a RP thing, but then when you looked at it, it was like, oh, it's not an RP, it's probably from the RDR, but I probably already added it, and I think you just mistook it, like something of that nature.
Yeah, that's entirely fair, especially when there was like so many backlog streams I was going through, and I'm like, okay, this one, I know this was half this was half this. We're going to highlight.
I somehow feel like that may have happened. And honestly, I do hate that, to where you're doing like multiple streams, and or you're changing the title of the stream, and it just you can't do anything about it. Like whatever you start the stream as, that's what it locks to.
Title, yeah.
And to be honest, I kind of hate that to a degree, because you obviously change titles to whatever game you're playing, and you can't see, you have to manually go in and like change the name of the title, and I kind of hate that a little bit. Just a little bit. So, but yeah, that was actually my guess. Is you just mistook it for being like a Ryan Hastings, but then you were thinking, oh, okay, so this is probably a Ryan Hastings, and then you check it, and it's like, because you're looking for Ryan Hastings stuff, but you didn't think about, oh, this is RDR2, maybe I should add this to the RDR2, and you just naturally thought, oh, that was probably a day of like just bad internet, and so you didn't make that connection of maybe I should save it over to, because you thought you already had it. Is what I'm thinking is what happened. I don't know if that's what happened, but that's my guess.
It's just weird, because I don't feel like there's a lot missing, is the thing. Like,
you didn't do, in that portion, there's 3 moments that happened.
Okay.
Molly O'Shea.
Right.
You get TB, to where it's actually diagnosed, with the whole scene with the doctor and everything. He's smoking a pipe. And one of my favorite one of my favorite action moments is the recon. You gotta go to the prison and see where Marston is. Yeah. And because you don't get a moment to where you're kind of like essentially in a car to a degree, or like, there's no dogfights in freaking Wild West, because there's no airplanes at the time, so you can't have a dogfight in the air. So like that was like the closest thing you could get, is take this
hot air balloon,
take the hot air balloon and fight out. So that was kind of like the reason why I liked it, is because to me it felt chaotic. And so in terms of like action, that was like one of my favorite kind of type of scenes, because it was the only one that took place above ground. So
and let me guess, that one's not in there.
Well, it was with Molly O'Shea, so yeah, you don't.
So there is something missing. I do remember I streamed it, because I do remember I was talking with someone in chat while the hot air balloon stuff was going on.
Right.
So I streamed it.
I'm not
Yeah.
denying that you didn't. I'm not denying that you
I
didn't
guess
stream.
the part got lost. I guess it's lost forever. That sucks.
And I would have never have called it. I never would have noticed if I didn't stop by and I saw, because like I said, hey Dark, that stream I saw, was that part 9? And you were like, yeah, that's part 9. Okay, well there's a part missing, and then you were like, oh yeah, that's just the previous one. So I thought I did go through it and I skimmed it, but I thought for sure I would have seen either Molly O'Shea, the hot air balloon, the part to where you have TB. I thought I would see one of those things, and I didn't see any. So when I saw that, I was like, something happened.
Yeah, because I remember all 3 of those things happened.
Right.
Well, I don't remember which order, but they all happened pretty quickly, like in succession. I think TB, then Balloon, then Molly O'Shea.
Yeah,
so
that's actually the same order as me, and how I know is because like I said, you were shooting O'Driscoll in the face, and I was like, no, this is like way too far. It would have been back. So, and I went back the 3 previous parts that you have, and that's what I saw, and I was like, it's still not here, and it's like the one scene, because I actually loved that scene. And do you know why I loved the Molly O'Shea? Not only because I actually did kind of like Molly O'Shea, and to see her gone, like, that was kind of like sad.
Mm-hmm.
But you know why the other thing? Why I like that scene?
Why?
Did you ever hang around the camp before?
Occasionally, yeah.
And did you see like all the parties that they would have?
A couple of them, yeah.
I absolutely, that's actually my favorite part of the game, is just being around camp and you see it just come alive. You see, like, I remember, like, walking over and there would be, like, what's his name? Hosea, and he would just be telling, like, an old robbery that went down and went to shit, and you hear them, like, telling their stories, and you're hearing, like, singing off in the background, and if you wanted to, you could walk over, you can actually join in on singing, and I thought that was great. And, like, they weren't just, like, characters at a camp, and they're just programmed to go from one area to the other. They actually interacted with each other, you hear them talking to each other, they're bickering at each other, and to see it come alive, like, by the end of the day, regardless of your problems with this person or that person, by the end of the day, like, for example, when Jack went missing. You remember Jack? Bronte?
Oh yes, I remember. Yeah, when Bronte had him. Yep.
So like when the camp was able to get Jack Marston back, like the camp lit up. Like they threw a freaking party for him. And it was just getting a kid back at camp and just be reunited with his parents again. Like, that, to me, that was, like, the best part of the entire game. At least in my opinion, because I actually made it my solemn duty. I am going to stop at camp to sleep. I'm not gonna camp out in the woods. No, screw that. No, I want to be next to my friends, my brothers, my sisters, and I want to have fun. I want to see what's going on at camp. Plus, I had to get up in the morning in order to do some chores, because it was the best way to actually rank up your Deadeye. I don't know if you knew about that.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, there are certain chores around camp that you could do. You could get, like, a bucket of water for everyone. There's usually, like, a lake nearby, so you could go get water. That was one. Another one was, there's hay bales you got to take out to the horses. And apparently those are tasks only for Arthur. You can't do it with anyone else. Or at least no one else decides to do them, so they expect Arthur to do everything. Oh, and save the day, but, you know, the game don't know that. And so, yeah, apparently if you do all of that stuff around camp, you increase your Deadeye that way. So, anyway. But yeah, and so, like, with me, I always always went to camp to just kind of hang out with everyone, and if anything happened, like, I wanted to be with the festivities. I wanted to be there with everyone, and just I joined in on a couple of songs. There was just times just sitting around,
the songs, yep,
just sitting around, like, just hearing Hosea just talk about, and other people just talking about, like, their days, like, before and what have you. And yeah, it was like, that was just so much fun to me. It was just so different from, like, what I've seen from every other game. But when Molly O'Shea died, I noticed it's almost like as if you could hear knives be carved, and it felt so grim when Molly died. Like, it wasn't live. It wasn't alive anymore. It was dead. Everyone was, like, staring at each other like, when's my end? You know, I gotta look out for this guy. And no one could trust freaking Micaiah. That guy was... How many times did we bust his ass out of prison? Like, seriously.
Well, once.
At least once. I know that.
At least once. Yeah, Micah was a real son bitch.
Yeah, and so, like, after Molly died, I even had to point it out on stream, like, it's so different from when you first started. It went from being alive to just everyone's just isolated, doing their own thing, and they're not even wanting to make eye contact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And just something about that. I just thought that was different. I thought that was awesome. It adds another layer to, like, what's going on, and it really shows you, like, kind of where everyone stands. So
yeah,
and that was part of one of the reasons why I kind of liked that particular scene, and I was curious if you picked up on any of that as well, and maybe if you brought it up on your stream. And so I was...
Yeah,
go ahead.
I definitely picked up on that. I mean, even in the camp mechanics, as soon as you go to Beaver Creek, like, the donation box is gone.
Mm-hmm.
You can't improve the camp anymore.
Right.
I think you can still do some of the customization stuff with Pierce, I think, but you can't do any of the stuff that, quote unquote, would raise morale.
Right.
Or anything. There's no, like, I don't think there's even the replenishing of ammo and stuff, because you don't have the catalog anymore.
Right.
Like, it's just, like, mechanically, the camp stops. I don't think there's even chores in Beaver Creek. Yeah, I don't think there are chores. Like, basically, the camp just dies mechanically, and also with just the people, and that's really when the most...
I think you're right. I think you're right, because I don't recall seeing too many hay bales, and yeah, I think you're right. The camp really does die at that point. I think you're right.
Yeah, which is... Yeah, because, like, everyone starts leaving.
Mm-hmm.
You kick Strauss out because he's a...
Oh, yeah, Strauss... yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, at the beginning of the game, okay, yeah, it's like, all right, you know, those are reasonable, like, debts to, you know, expect a payout on. But as the game goes on, like, I felt like it was just more... But by the end, it felt like Strauss was just picking people that you would just ultimately have to end up beating the money out of. Like, it kind of felt like with those last marks, he didn't even try and, you know, find people with something that was sustainable.
Right.
It was like in Rhodes, there was some of them that were like borderline, like possible, but I might be wrong in that assumption, but like that it just gets more and more like it didn't matter if they could pay it back when Arthur would just get the money from them anyway. I don't know if you picked up on that.
Which part?
That as the debt collecting, like each camp you go to, you get a new bunch of debt. That as each camp progresses, the people who he gives the debts to are less and less likely to be able to pay him back, and they're more risky ventures that probably won't pay off.
I didn't really pick up on that portion, I want to say, too much. I felt like, in terms of like Strauss, as they progressed, I felt like it was pushing morale, your morals to the edge. Like in the beginning, it was like, okay, yeah, you're playing the role of Mr. Tough Guy, you're racketeering, which I was actually perfectly fine with that, and the reason why is because I played Godfather 1 years ago, and even in Godfather 2, they also had those mechanics to where you could basically just rough up people, and you shake them down for money, like, entirely, and you had to, like, find, like, weak spots. You could either, like, point a gun at them, and that will like, be their weakness, because they don't want to get shot. Other people, you gotta actually, like, physically harm them, and, like, that would help them pay out more. So, like, I kind of felt like it was going back to, like, that mechanic, and it was just, like, a mechanic that I thought was interesting, at least back then. And so, like, with this, I felt like, in the beginning, okay, I'm Mr. Tough Guy, that's fine. You're supposed to be kind of like the baddie, anti-hero kind of type of thing, so this is fine. But as time went on, like, I'm dealing with families, I'm dealing with kids, and it's like, do I really want to take money from a freaking single parent? Father probably got drunk, dead, what have you. I'm not going to take money from them, you know? So it felt harder to, like, not say, you know what, keep whatever debt we owe you or we need from you, screw it. Hell, if anything, here's $500, I'll make it 1,000, take it, enjoy it, like, live your life. And that's what I've kind of felt. I didn't feel like anything else beyond that. It was, for me, it really more was just, like, I'm taking it from families. I'm not taking it from this dude who, you know, probably has more than enough, and it felt relatively fine to take money from a guy that probably can pay it off. He just doesn't want to right now. Like, that was fine. But, yeah, taking money, like, I'm practically ripping, like, a kid's shirt off, and I'm, like, taking that as payment. Like, no, I'm not doing that. So, that's what I noticed. Anything beyond that, no.
Definitely the, that moral side, and they definitely got more grim in that. But I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but I felt less like at the first couple people, like when you do the first round of debt collecting, I didn't really feel bad. They all had like they seemed to me like people with sustainable income and that who could have paid it back. And I'm like, all right, you know, you got your debt. And then when you get down to roads, there's that. Then it's kind of gets a little because the one person who has to rob a grave for the money, and then the person who needs to hunt that albino cougar, which he ends up dying, and you end up killing the albino cougar. Scary ass part. That nearly killed me because you know, you can't hold a lantern and hold your gun at the same time. So, you know, pitch black. There's a cougar in there. Even though it's white, it's scary as shit. But I just felt like myself that I was like, I was feeling less and less like, man, these people are like, oh, they're just, you know, that they could pay it and that they should have been smarter with their loans. I felt like as each sort of grouping of debt collecting came on, I felt less and less inclined in that manner of thinking. I'm like, it eventually, and then at the very end, I'm like, these people at all, like there's no way they could have paid their debts back. Like the one person was running away and like a defector,
right?
And like he's a defector, he's running away. He has no income, no reasonable way to pay him back, and yet Strauss gave him this loan, and I'm expected to collect from him.
Right.
And it's like, and then the other one's just a coal miner. Like, you don't make a lot of money as a coal miner. Like, it just seemed like it's just, at least from how I saw the progression, is it just got more like, it doesn't matter if they don't pay you back because Arthur's just going to get the money from them.
Yeah, I totally agree to some extent for sure. And then, yeah, in my opinion, I felt like I want to say the game was good, but I would still say it's the best that Rockstar pulls out, and I'm still like looking forward to if there is a RDR3 in the future.
Right.
Trying to look and see. What do you think about the horse mechanics?
I don't have any problem with the horse mechanics.
Oh, you didn't at all?
Nope.
Well, the thing about me, I did a lot of running, like, essentially off-road, like in woods and rocky areas. I felt like the horse mechanics in those environments were, like, really terrible. I would be riding along and my horse would autocorrect right into a tree. Multiple times. And I felt like further and further I went to the end of the game, I found myself going more and more off-road. And I felt like I came across more that it's mostly in like rocky and tree areas. It would just autocorrect and go right to a tree. Or if you're in the rocks, there would be moments to where I'm trying to like just get a gallop going. I'm not trying to like speed run, but I'm just trying to like get some movement going. My horse would just stand there and do nothing. It wouldn't even like move left or right. It would just stand there because it can't identify the rock correctly. So eventually you just have to move like left or right, and sometimes it would even like autocorrect around rocks. The only problem is it might autocorrect to an even worse area or a better area. Okay, I got past this rock, but now I have an even bigger rock. Also, there was even moments to where, again, it's all because I'm going off-road. I would just be running along, and I notice, oh crap, there's a cliff coming up. So I try to pull back. The horse, they want to... I hate this. They want to have the horse strike a pose at the edge of the freaking cliff. They don't want to stop before you get to the edge. They don't want that. They want you to pull up right to the edge and strike a pose. Because, I guess, I don't know, it looks kind of theatric. Because your horse is like, it's standing on its back legs and it's like, kind of like striking a pose a little bit. And it's like, I kind of hate that. Mostly because there was a moment to where I had a double lip, so it's a case to where it's a cliff. I'm going to go off the edge. So my horse would jump down. I can't get back up to the upper part because it's a double lip. So the horse can't jump back, and it goes to the edge to strike a pose. Now I'm on the edge of a cliff. Now I gotta get off my horse, go down a little bit, and respawn my horse. Because it wants to strike a pose at the edge of the cliff, and even though I saw the cliff edge coming, I tried to stop. It legitimately jumped down to the second part, which is lower, strike a pose, I turn around, I can't get back up. It's taller than my horse or at the same height, and it's, and I hated that. Absolutely hated that. I felt like the horse mechanics in RDR1 was a little bit more smoother, because I definitely sure as hell didn't have any autocorrect to where it's supposed to autocorrect to where, oh, you're coming across a tree, it's going to autocorrect around the tree so that way you're off safely. But there was moments to where it autocorrected and I slammed right in the tree and I can't stop. And that's what I hated. I came across that in my playthrough, but...
Yeah, I had a couple. I was like expecting, because I've seen like everyone else like have such like entire compilations of people running into everything.
Right.
But I think there's only like 3 or 4 instances through my entire playthrough where I had one of those like full slam into something moments. One of them was right at the beginning of the game, but really, I didn't have a lot of problem with it. Probably because I took things like in terrain that I'm like, oh, like this isn't great for horses. I kept it slower so the horse had a lot more like maneuverability in that. Might have been it. I was not like, because you learn pretty quickly going full bore with your horse. There's not a lot of mobility at all, and if you're going at something, you don't have a lot of time to stop. But yeah, I didn't have a lot of problems with the horses.
Can we all agree? Give us a loot all button.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Why do we have to pick up one item at a time? Give us a loot all button. It's not that hard.
Well, actually, I don't know if you knew this, but if you've got loot right next to it, in the middle of your animation where you're picking it up, you can, if you immediately hold the next loot button, you'll immediately like finish that circle. And then once you're done with that animation, your guy reaches over and does the animation for the next thing. So you can string picking up stuff within the animation.
I never held, but I did tap a lot, I think.
Yeah, you can do that with like a bunch of stuff next to each other. You can like finish the hold it to pick it up thing before your animation's done, and then you just go and just start picking up things.
All I just know is I would come across like loot chests, and they do the animation to where you open it, you look inside, and you could pick which one you want, and it's like, just grab everything, dude.
Yeah, sometimes that was a little annoying, especially when it was like, you're full on this.
Oh
You
yeah!
can't
Oh
grab
god,
it, and
yes.
trying to look past it to the
Yeah.
thing that's on the other side. Okay, yeah, that's annoying.
Exactly. So yeah, that was like a small detail that I just And then, at least with me, I gotta know if you noticed it. Did you at all feel like Arthur was basically like a derivative of just basically Marston? Like, if it was him in this situation, wouldn't you think you would be doing the exact same thing?
I don't. Maybe I don't know. I felt like Arthur had a pretty like they definitely like Arthur and John's personalities definitely meshed well together, especially closer to the end of the game when they're both just done with it.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, let's, if there's one good thing I could do, John, it's going to be to get you and your family out of here. And I felt like they had pretty unique personalities. I mean, yeah, I guess they have similar sort of morals and kind of goals, but I felt like Arthur and John are pretty different.
This is
like,
yeah, go ahead if you have more.
I mean, yeah, I think that they do a lot of the same stuff in some situations. Like in side quests, yeah, they do. Well, obviously they have to do the same stuff because both characters are able to do side missions. I guess just in general, I don't know. It's kind of hard because you're thinking within the constraints of like game mechanics and that. But I just from personality wise, I think John and Arthur are distinct personalities which do mesh well together, and they do have similarities between them. I do think they have similar morals, or at least come to value similar morals by the end of the game.
It says with me, for some reason, I felt like once I seen it, I can't unsee it. to where I felt like if Marston was in the same situation, I felt like he would do something similar. The way I would describe their voices is somewhat similar, kind of like rugged, kind of raspy a little bit, maybe. Marston is probably a little bit more like a higher pitch than
definitely.
Arthur.
Yes.
So, like, there was small similarities, but I felt like I was basically playing the same character. Not that that's bad, but I felt like, well, if you're basically making, like, what I saw, like, Marston 2.0, then why not just go with Marston, if that's... But you can't really do that because we kind of already told, well, essentially, Marston's complete story arc. So, and sadly, that's one area I don't think I could talk about because you never finished RDR1. Or have you? Or
I finished RDR1, I just don't remember it.
Oh, you don't remember it. Okay. Okay. Oh, well, I was under the impression you didn't finish it.
Oh, no, I finished it, yes.
Okay. So, I mean, by the way, spoilers to RDR1, I guess. Here's one thing I actually really did love about both RDR1 and 2. I love the fact that the game is basically showing you that characters don't live forever. I love that idea. That's the reason. That's one of the reasons why a movie like Scarface, if you ever seen Scarface with Al Pacino, like that's one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's simply a 3-hour-long movie.
Oh
that's
yeah.
A good movie.
Because with that, the character doesn't live forever. He has an end. He dies at the end, and that's what I like to see from Red Dead Redemption. They point out that these characters don't live forever. And it's really kind of hard to say who went out better, because there was something about seeing John Marston in RDR1 to where essentially he tells his family to get out of here, and because he's at his ranch. By the way, it's the same ranch that you build in RDR2.
Yep.
Hell, I think you even had a hoedown during that, didn't you? Like, didn't I think it was like Charles or somebody, or Uncle, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You're practically having a party and you're doing you're putting a house together. So, but yeah. You had anything to say about that, or?
Yeah, I remember I was streaming it, and I ended the one stream just after we finished building the house. And I said, "When are we building the barn we die in?" And it was literally the next mission when I started up stream. And I'm like, "Oh, we built the barn I die in." I even walked out of it. I'm like, I pushed it open, pulled out my 6-shooter.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, yeah, this looks like a great place to die. I'm just like, man, I die here in the next game.
But for me, there was just something about seeing Arthur, or not Arthur, but Marston in RDR1 to where he's telling his family to leave, and you could see it's written on his face. He knows his fate. And does he back down? No, he swings those doors wide open, and he faces the entire barrage that is facing him, and he doesn't back down. There is something about that final stand that I just thought was poetic, at least in my opinion. So to see that, like, you can't undo that. Like, that was just too good. So because of that, you can't really go back and redo, like, Marston's story again, because I thought that was just too perfect. At least
if I could quickly add, like, I love that they force you to have your starting pistol in there, and there's like 10. There's at least 10 or so guys, and there's only 6 bullets in your revolver. So you know as soon as the Deadeye goes up, which is just automatic, and I think it goes until you click 6 of them, or at least fire your 6 shots. But it's like, you know, like, at that moment, you're not getting out of there alive, and it's you're just gonna take as many as you can.
Exactly. Also, in that particular playthrough, I think I had tried to do it every single time I come across it. I want to see fucking Ross and his bitch, so that way I could just shoot him right in the face. If I go down, I at least want those two guys to go down with me.
Well, you get to kill him as crap. His son's name is Jack. You get to kill Ross as Jack.
Oh, right. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
In the epilogue, yeah. Well, I guess the epilogue was the whole like getting your ranch back up in order, which I love that. And you go back to like Miss. Oh God, the name of the ranch, McFarlane. To Miss McFarlane, and it's like, oh, it was so great. And I love the vibes of that were in that first game's epilogue, and then it was much like that in 2's epilogue, though there was a lot more action in that in 2's epilogue than in the first one, where it was just all good, and then the Pinkertons have come to finish you off.
Right. Yeah, I think I will agree there. Mainly because I did feel that too once it got to the epilogue. It almost felt like a restart button, like you're starting over from the very beginning, even though this is like the end of the game. I did feel that way in both of them, but it definitely...
I love that feeling. It was a great feeling, actually.
Although, I hated the idea that I looted all of the treasure hunt places. When it went back to Marston in RDR2, God, I didn't leave them any gold. I went from like $5,000 to like what, 500, 200? I
think I had 10,000 in cash on Arthur and $7,500 in gold bars on Marston. Or not on Marston, on Arthur, and I'm like, man, you just don't have any of that. Like, you just got to start all over.
I honestly felt like just doing like, not like a full restart, but like, I actually saved every portion. I think I could actually go back and replay my original playthrough from whatever game save I started the day off of. Because every time I saved it, so that way if I mess something up, I could just go back to the last stream I did, and like in game save form, and just like reload that. And so apparently I didn't do it, but I had it in my head. Should I go back and do my other should I go back a couple of game saves so that way I could actually back off from some treasure hunts and just have Marston have a few of them, so that way I don't feel as poor. So, yeah, that was going from all that money to almost what to me it felt like zero. And I think you're right. Maybe I had something maybe closer to 9,000. I forget how much money I had. All I just know is it was
money
a lot.
means nothing after 2 hours in the game.
I mean, to be fair, you only just need money to just get the guns and maintain those guns. After that, money is kind of worthless to a degree. Because I can't really think of too many things that you could buy. Like, oh man, I gotta save up money to buy this. It's kind of not like that.
But the White Arabian you can get for free, which I was so sad. Having to, my White Arabian died because it was with Arthur. I'm like, oh no, my horse.
Feels
when
bad.
When that scene happened, and I'm like, no, my horse. Then suddenly there's a new, all the new horse breeds. All of a sudden, once you're done the main game,
right?
I could think, is it Rebecca or Rachel? That's the name of Marston's horse. I think that's a Belgian Draft or something.
I forget.
Or I don't know, something. It's Rebecca or Rachel. I can't remember what the name of the horse was. But yeah, there was all those new horse breeds that are just suddenly there after after that. Which I think it's funny that the entirety of the game is like you can't go to any of the places you went in the first game until you're done the main story. I tried to go to I tried to get to Tumble to like to I thought the dead zone was only in like the West Elizabeth part. It's not. I made it into New Austin, and it's red all the way there. You can see on the map where it's suddenly like with the path I went and then where I died, because it's just like it just stops for my discoveries.
Yeah, I think for me, I think I remember, I think I was Arthur, and there's like little tasks that the game kind of gives you, and I think Jack, there was a toy that he had that was back in Blackwater, and it was like, but we can't go back to Blackwater. That's a red zone. So I remember thinking, how the hell are you supposed to complete that task if it's in a red zone? So I never did it. And then obviously I completely forgot about it and didn't realize it until after I beat the game. Can you still do that as Marston? Because it's open at that point. That point I could do it, but as Arthur, you can't really go back to Blackwater.
I doubt it. It's years. It's years later after that point.
So I don't think that thing will be up, but I was thinking, how the hell are you supposed to do that? Because if I remember correctly, I think there is a toy that, and I don't know what kind of type of reward you would get out of it, but other than probably like maybe a trophy or some kind, like on Steam or something. But yeah, it was just, I heard what he said, like, oh, it was that, oh, I could give you that toy, boy. Where is it? It's back in Blackwater. Oh. And then it's like, well, we kind of had a big fuck up in Blackwater. We can't necessarily. And obviously it's like, so.
I like how no one, like, through the entire game, there's never explained what happens in Blackwater. It's like,
yeah.
It's never explained. No idea what happened there. It just went to shit, and it's 99% probably Micah's fault because he was the rat the entire time.
To be fair, they may actually could possibly explain it in the multiplayer.
That's bullshit.
Because guess who lives with her husband in the multiplayer?
Let me guess, Sadie Adler.
Yep, bingo. So apparently so in the multiplayer you might actually have to, there's probably an update, or maybe there's like an actual mission or quest or what have you that might explain a little bit more of what happened in Blackwater. But I don't know. All I do know is in the multiplayer, Sadie Adler does live with her husband, so there is a time gap between when the game starts in single-player campaign compared to the multiplayer. So
yeah,
maybe that's a thing, but honestly, the better option, and I hope this is the option that they do go, that probably opens the door for a RDR3. Is maybe RDR3 tells the story of what happens in Blackwater. That's the story that I'm hoping
isn't it revealed at the end of the game that Dutch had the Blackwater money the whole time?
I think so. That sounds right.
Micah says, like, we got the Blackwater money. We can go and stuff. Trying to still be like, hey, no, I'm not the bad guy. Dutch, listen to me. I've been putting honey in your ear. Come on, listen to me.
Big reveal as Arthur?
Pardon?
Is that what you mean? Big reveal as in, you know where the money is as Arthur?
Oh no, I mean like that Micah says that they have the money from Blackwater. Like I think he straight up says we've got the Blackwater money.
When you kill him, or
no, when you're at the standoff outside Beaver Creek, just before the Pinkertons show up outside
Okay.
Beaver Creek when you have the standoff.
Because I do remember that there is an option. Essentially, it's the last mission to where you could either go with Marston
or go back for the money.
Yeah.
I was curious, what happens if you go back for the money?
Oh, dude, the scenery looks freaking beautiful. Basically, you go back to the camp and it's all on fire and you're surrounded by flame. And it's the exact same fight. Exact same, I looked it up on YouTube. I think I even have it in the playthrough. Because I was curious too. I wanted to see what would happen if I went with the money. And it's basically all the same fight. The only difference is I don't think you're really getting chased down too much by the Pinkertons. Because at one point, if you go with Marston, at one point you have to fight off the Pinkertons. But you really just fight them going to. And I think you could take the money, but on the way out, that's when you run into Micah and get into a big fight. There you go. And for some reason, the entire place is on fire, and yeah. Looking at the scenery, I was like, God, I went with the wrong playthrough in terms of scenery. Like for the fight. For the fight.
Oh, for the fight, yeah. But I think for the emotion behind it.
Oh, yeah, the emotion side, dude.
Better
being able to
when
see
it's like
a freaking
Arthur's
sunset.
like, hey, John, go. I'm going to hold him off. And I thought it was going to be, which I was impressed they didn't do, is that I thought it was going to be like the end of Red Dead 1, where I'm fighting the Pinkertons, I get shot up and killed.
Right.
But no, you end up with that fight with Micah, and then eventually your TB gets to you. But you've sort of like you've said your piece, you've done all you could, and you kind of die as peacefully as you can at that point. Which then I was like, so wait, I was wondering how it goes if you go for the money, because that's a much more selfish thing, and I feel like it doesn't have that, like it doesn't have that same emotional thing, and doesn't really fit with what Arthur's been doing up to that point, honestly. Like with trying to get John out, but then all of a sudden, like. Though I'm curious as to how things sort of change, because I imagine a lot of stuff changes depending on if you're honorable and if you're not, and you just do a lot of evil stuff. I'm like curious to see how like what in Arthur's sort of like demeanor and stuff changes when you go full like a terrible human being, as opposed to being like, you do bad things, but you try and be a good person.
You want the answer or no?
I want the answer. I'm not playing through 100 hours of the game just to see that.
You just take a bullet in the face. That's it. Yeah, Micah just shoots you in the face and he walks off with Dutch. That's it. That's all that happens.
I feel like that's you don't get.
Because you're like struggling over the gun and everything, so.
Yeah. You know what? That's pretty fitting if you do that. It's like if you do that like at the end. I imagine you just do that at the end of a unhonorable sort of run where you're just being a scumbag and you've maxed out your infamy. And it's like you don't get that piece because you haven't tried to really atone for what you've done.
Also, did you know that the game foreshadows your playthrough?
Does it now?
Do you remember cutscenes with the deer? As a matter of fact, when you get TB, you see a deer. If you get the bad playthrough, you get the wolf. Good playthrough, you get the deer.
Oh.
It foreshadows your playthrough. Because every time when there's a chapter, when there's a big event that takes place and everything they're trying to settle down. Whenever they go to those cutscenes, it's foreshadowing your playthrough. You're either going to get the wolf, the bad playthrough, or the deer, the good playthrough.
Oh.
I didn't know about that. How I found out is so like someone from my stream, they were actually saying, so did you get the deer? And I'm like, I thought it was like some kind of type of like big reveal or something. I'm thinking like deer, like there's a scene with a deer. Dude, I don't want to hear anything about spoilers. No. Did you get the deer? What the hell are you talking about, dude? like I didn't know. Like I was thinking it was spoiler stuff, so I was like, dude, don't talk about spoilers. And the whole time, eventually he said, oh, if you get TB, you either get the deer or the wolf. And I'm like, what the hell? Really? Are you... Like, all of a sudden, I felt bad because I kind of felt like, dude, I don't want to hear about spoilers. And I was kind of getting, like, a little hasty with them. And it was just, I didn't want to use spoilers. And I thought he was talking about spoilers because in gameplay, I didn't come across any deer. But then I just kind of, like, just forgot about the whole scene with the TB and you see the deer. I didn't know there was a meaning to that. And then when he told me, it like all came together and I'm like, oh god, I feel like ass right now. Dude, I'm so sorry. I forget who that was, but dude, again, I'm sorry, whoever you are. I'm sure your name will come up eventually if my memory gets good. But anyway, yeah, so kinda that's how I discovered it. And yeah, that's the thing. So apparently in RDR2 at least, they do the cutscenes foreshadow your playthrough. At least up until that point. So yeah, there's a little something I didn't know. And there's only kind of like two other things I really want to talk about. One of them is real quick. It would have been awesome if Landon Ricketts was able to make a comeback and like make an appearance in RDR2, but for those that don't know, Landon Ricketts in RDR1, he's the guy that you meet first in Mexico, if you remember him. He's kind of like he's supposed to be kind of like Wild Bill Hickok in a way in real life. Except kind of done in like a GTA kind of fashion, with lore and everything.
Is he that one like retired gunslinger that you meet in like the one like hotel kind of area down in Mexico?
He's basically their sheriff to a degree.
I think I remember him.
Long
He's, like,
overcoat,
grizzled, and
like white hair, cowboy hat, and he's the one that really. You basically do like a whole bunch of what is it? Deadeye with him. And he just has you like shoot some bottles, and I think he takes you out to like scare some like birds, and it's like, hey, shoot those birds in the sky. Yeah, that's Landon Ricketts. Okay. I do like the fact that they did reference him multiple times. There's cigarette cards. I don't know if you ever did those.
I almost have all of them, yeah.
If you did the cigarette cards, one of them is actually of Landon Ricketts, and they use the actual name, the character, likeness, all that stuff. And then, of course, I think there's even a shootout to where I think Sadie's going off, and you hear Arthur say, man, you're like a real Landon Ricketts. You need to calm down over there, or something like that. But the reason why they didn't have him in the game, the voice actor passed away. So, because, and apparently the voice actor is actually from, basically he was a real actor in like the 1950s, and he actually did a lot of kind of like the westerns back then. So it's kind of awesome that you kind of say that the guy never left, but anyway. And the sad part is, I didn't know this, but he actually died after the release of RDR1. So, like, he probably didn't even know, like, how well his performance was, because the game wasn't even released yet. So, that kind of hurts a little bit, because I thought, I actually did like Landon Ricketts. He was one of my favorite characters in RDR1. So, if they ever do bring him back, it's not going to be the same voice actor. But I thought he was a cool character. And then, of course, I think I have to show this. Mostly just because, I just wanted to show off some contrast between me and Dark's playthrough. There's one particular scene, I've been using the term easy mode. I just want to show this off. It's muted, but I just want to show off this scene for what happens here. So right now, we're watching Dark's playthrough. I just want you to just get the vibe of this scene. So you could see everything, right? You just see how well you could just see everyone. Everyone's just lit up. Just look at this. So this is what Dark went through in his playthrough. Right now we're watching the moment in the game to where you get back from the island and you're having the big fight out in the swamp. These are Pinkertons, they're swarming the place. So apparently they had to get out of, I believe it was Saint Denis, outside Saint Denis.
Yeah, Shady Belle.
Yeah, exactly. I forget the name of, I just remember the town it was near. I don't remember the actual name and that stuff. But, so this is the fight that we're seeing. Like, this is what Dark had to put up with. Like, I'm almost practically jealous that this is what he did. So, I mean, I guess I could play this out, but why don't we take a small look at what I went through? Now, here's my playthrough. Now, you saw easy mode. Let's take a look at hard mode. Who is this man right here? Can you see his face? Who the hell was that? So then, I'm tossed the gun. And now, where is everybody?
Oh my God.
Where is everybody? Can you see? What's going on here?
I can't see shit.
Dude, what is this? This is what I had to put up with. Same fight. Same spawn, same location. But what is this?
I don't know. My graphics were at like nothing.
So now I just saw Sadie go in, take up a position, and now I just figured, fuck it. I can't see shit, so let's just go in and do this. This is what I had to put up with. So I am jealous. Who is that? Who just ran off? I don't even know. Okay, someone is, well, they're not shooting me, so I guess they're fine.
It's weird that the Deadeye doesn't... What?
Yeah, Deadeye is not working on me. I can't... Look at this! Look!
Are you playing on a hard... Is this the only time this happened?
I think so? Who is... How did I... What? What is going on here? By the way, shot the dick. 3, 2... Wow! Right in the... Dude, I shot that guy right in the D. I have to freeze frame it in order to see, but this guy takes it hard right in the dick. Wow!
That's some Sniper Elite testicle shot right there.
It's really hard to tell, but you see the blood and everything. It is just... Oh, man. He takes it right in the D. So right now I'm cracking up laughing. And I just can't see anything. This is what... When I said Dark was on easy mode, this is what I'm talking about.
You meant playable.
I am legitimate...
I would have pulled out the shotgun at this point.
Yeah. I think I am using the shotgun, to be honest.
No, you're using a repeater.
Oh, this guy takes it right in the face. Bam!
I love those executions. I never did enough of those.
I feel like I feel like I could do that on every single guy. I still think it's not enough. Like, I need to do that like just a few more times. And I think at this point, okay, so the game is telling me go to the Gatling gun. Hey, Dark, you see a Gatling gun anywhere? Because I sure as hell don't. I don't even know where the Gatling gun is. I'm using the mini-map in order to get around, because I can't do it.
There it is.
Well, there it is. Well, now I'm on it. So, I can't... Who am I shooting? It's just... This
To be
is
fair,
what...
it's a machine gun. You just hold the trigger and point.
Oh, man. But yeah, this is what I had to put up with. Honestly...
So many good slow-mo shots with the freaking Maxim.
Oh, yeah. 100%. But the whole time, I'm just moving, I'm just shooting anything that moves. That's like probably like the best shot right there, ever. Like, well, throughout this bit here, anyway. I did like the Gatling gun, because I felt like it was a legitimate Gatling gun. If it touches you, you're dead. And I love that about it. But anyway, that's what I mean by easy mode. So... It wasn't like anything like, oh, Dark, you're playing on suck mode, you know. No, I legitimately couldn't see shit. I was legitimately having to fire at, like, I was looking at muzzle flashes. I had to look for muzzle flashes and like, oh, that's a guy, shoot there. Like, with you just do like dead eye and like boom, boom, boom. Everyone's lit up like a Christmas tree. With me, I didn't get that. Like, I don't know if there was a setting or what have you, but I couldn't see anything. And I think I did have people light up. It was just the fog was so thick. I didn't have that, so I don't know what happened. All I just know is I couldn't see anything, so for the record, that's what I mean by easy mode. Because Dark could see everything. I couldn't. I couldn't. What I loved about that, I couldn't tell friend from foe. And I almost kind of felt like, dude, this should be a thing. If you can't see your own target, what if you just shot like your own like teammate? And what if that's part of the story? Is it so thick with fog, you can't see anything? And like I shot Sadie Atler. And I thought that would be like a great story there. To where you didn't do it intentionally, you did it because you just couldn't see anything. And I honestly thought that would have been awesome to actually kind of do, because that would make a kind of another layer to the story. And plus, this is kind of like around the time to when things were just kind of going south. And in my head, I just thought that would be like a great little thing. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But it also really does depend on who takes the bullet, because it's what I learned from Yakuza. The person you like the most, don't get too attached. So, but yeah, that's so that was a little gist of like my experience with the game. And honestly, that swamp fight was one of my favorite fights, just simply because I couldn't tell friend from foe, and that's what. Because it's always like, hey, go here, you know who your targets are, so you shoot them. But in that particular case, I couldn't see my targets, and it made it that more chaotic. And I felt like just, like, holding a position and just firing, I felt like wasn't gonna do me any good. So that's the reason why I got up and started just bum rushing these shadows. And, yeah, so there you go. But yeah, that was something else. Anything else that you would like to add to RDR in any way, shape, or form?
No, I absolutely, I think I don't think I have anything more to add to it. I can't think of anything. I loved the game. I loved, well, I never got to experiment with the hats because I never took the Viking helmet off.
I noticed.
Which
I noticed.
The one benefit, I think the Viking helmet is the only hat that will not fall off, no matter what. I think every other hat in the game will fall off except the Viking helmet.
At some point, I do need to go back and actually do it, but I've been kind of doing these like music videos for video games. I call them like Swan Song. I have one up for Yakuza 0.
Oh, right, the one I can't watch, yeah.
I need to finish the RDR2 one. I absolutely love it. I love the song I picked. I like the scenes I went with. I feel it works. The only problem is, I gotta get back and like actually finish that. But yeah, for me, I would say the game is definitely good. It is good in so many ways, but going through Persona 4, going through Yakuza, I seen better. I seen what good and great really is. And in comparison, there is no comparison. It's no contest. I mean, RDR is still good overall, but it's definitely no Persona. It's definitely no Yakuza. Even Yakuza 1... Hell, I think even Yakuza 2, and that was like my least favorite of all of them. I think even Yakuza 2 had a way better overall than RDR 2, at least in my opinion. But I'm still not going to take back anything that I said. It's still a good game. I still would recommend it. I don't probably get it on a sale if you can, but yeah. It's definitely good for what it is. Probably overall as a game, it's probably more enjoyable to do RDR2 than maybe Yakuza, but story-wise, it's no contest. The better one definitely goes to Yakuza 0, Yakuza 1, Yakuza 2, Persona 4. Those are way better, in my opinion. Yeah, for a story-wise, out of all the games I mentioned, probably Persona 4 is the better choice, just simply because of the price. I think except for Yakuza 0, I think that one's $20 brand new as well. And for the record, I'm also adding in price. I'm not just going by, like, best game overall, I'm going by price as well. And price right off the bat, I actually forgot that Yakuza 0 is actually 20. So actually between Persona 4 and Yakuza 0 is definitely story-wise kind of the better way to go, because like those two are like $20, while I'm pretty sure brand new this game is still at $60. So you can find it for a discount, but it's gonna vary on how much, where you go, if you get it on Epic, if you get it on Steam, or some other third-party site. Definitely try websites like Green Man Gaming or Frackle, I think is the name of those sites. Those are going to be like the Steam version, or sometimes they specifically say what version of the game it is. So it might say Epic, it might say what have you. So, in my opinion, that's what I would say. I don't know if I can only assume you recommend the game as well, right?
100% I recommend this game. It's fantastic. And, yes, the prologue's a bit of a slog, but if you can get through the prologue, you will absolutely love the game, the rest of the game. And hey, if you like the prologue, then wow, congratulations, the game just gets like infinitely better from there.
Yeah, I definitely thought the one thing I will say when you are in Marston, the one thing I did like, before we move on, the one thing I will say I do like, I did like the reference of the pose of the cover art from RDR1 being done in RDR2. I thought that was awesome. I actually questioned if it was a sawed-off he actually did carry in RDR1. I actually drew a blank on what gun it was, and it turns out it was a sawed-off. And I love the pose because it was spot on, exactly like how RDR1 cover art is. So I thought that was kind of awesome. Also, you gotta love the idea to where Marston is trying to change, and he has that moment on the boat, the little boat, and he essentially proposes to Abigail. I thought that was awesome.
Oh my god, when he uses the ring Arthur gave
Yes!
to
You remembered the ring! Exactly, right?
I was like, oh my god, he's gonna use Arthur's ring. Oh.
To be honest, I actually forgot to look that one up. I want to see that moment. I believe me, I'll look at it eventually, but I do want to see that moment on your stream because, dude, he uses the ring that Arthur gave him. That was just so awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
So, also kind of also shows like a little bit of deep, because I honestly thought they were already married and like they already had like the ceremony, but it turns out it was kind of half-assed from the way it sounds. So like he's legitimately trying to change, and like he wants to do his wife right by giving her a proper wedding and all. And I thought that was it just shows like what kind of type of person that Marston was. And
yeah,
it was so good.
And then the first game happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's
but
like,
but anyway, it's so good. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else I want to add. I think I said my piece.
Yeah, I think I've said enough.
All right.
Or probably not. I'm probably forgetting things, but fantastic game. Loved it. So much
good.
challenges. The challenges can go fuck themselves. They can go fuck themselves. They fucking suck. I hate that the challenges, especially the one where you have to pick every motherfucking herb in the fucking game, is not retroactive because there's a goddamn compendium that it can't fucking apparently reference that you've already picked that fucking plant.
Wow.
Also, the gambling ones fucking suck. Fuck dominoes. It's a fucking stupid ass game. I know how to play now.
I can safely agree, but also at the same time, I will say this. Dark, I can't help but notice in your playthroughs, you try and 100% the entire game almost.
I'm 92.6% on the game.
I do casual playthroughs. I mostly just play the game for story. And yeah, so just for the record, I thought it was terrible that I saw you try and play shogi in Yakuza. I could only imagine what it was for dominoes in RDR2.
Okay, dominoes is better than shogi. Let me get that straight out of here.
I know it!
I played dominoes for another fucking infinity than fucking shogi. Shogi is bullshit. It is a bullshit, stupid-ass thing that completely defeats the purpose of chess.
That's why, even in Yakuza, love the game, I didn't do everything. So I stayed the hell away. I forget who said this and why, but I remember someone saying, if you can't swim, don't jump in the pool. Exactly. And that's exactly what I do. I don't know shogi, never played it. I'm not jumping in that pool. That's all I know. So if you can't swim, why are you jumping into pools? It don't make sense. I forget where I heard that, forget where I seen it. All I just know is I thought the joke was funny at the time, and it's relevant. There's just some things you just don't do. Shogi, and at least for Darking, I feel like I played dominoes before, but I actually played real dominoes with people and actual physical domino pieces. I remember playing it. I felt like I got it, but I didn't. I can't remember how well I did, but I remember playing it. Anyway. But yeah. And we could only go on to Artist of the Week. Let's end this goddamn stream. Oh no. You want to go first or me?
Sure.
Okay.
So the group I went for is Dragon Force. Because I was like, I need a group. And I was like, sure, Dragon Force. I've been listening to them. And I've been kind of using their music for sort of like opening stuff because they've said officially that like, hey, you're good. Our newest 3 albums, you can use those on Twitch. That's fine. You can use them for your streams. I'm like, cool. I've got the bio on Spotify. It's got a bio. Known as the fastest band in the world, Grammy-nominated extreme power metal band Dragon Force is based in London, England. Their platinum-selling records, Through the Fire and Flames, brought them international acclaim and was featured as the most challenging song in Guitar Hero 3. Dragon Force's energetic and humorous live performances have won them fans on every continent. The group is known for their long, complex, and fast guitar solos performed by Herman Lee and Sam Topman, who founded the band after meeting through a classified ad in 1999. Since then, the band has released 8 studio albums, including Valley of the Damned, Sonic Firestorm, Inhumane Rage, Ultra Beatdown, The Power Within, Maximum Overload, Reaching into Infinity, and most recently, Extreme Power Metal in September of 2019. Drawing from a wide range of influences, the band's sound combines these sing-along chorus of classics 80 rock with triumphant, uplifting melodies and fantasy-themed power metal-inspired lyrics. As a nod to their passion for all things video game related, the band frequently incorporates retro game sounds and melodies into their recordings and live shows. Which all of that, I was like, yep, that's like the perfect words to describe Dragon Force songs. I think most of the songs I've heard from I'm referencing, Extreme Power Metal, which was, and Reach into Infinity, which are their 2 most recent albums. And I love listening. Some of the songs I'm like, I'm not entirely sure. Like, some of them I know for sure what they're referencing sci-fi wise, like Last Dragonborn, that's obviously referencing Skyrim.
Oh, Dark. We lost Dark. R.I.P. Oh, are we good?
Are we?
You just dipped. What?
Yep. My Discord dropped. When did I drop? I don't know when I dropped. When did I drop?
I don't know. You kind of went out just recently, so it's not.
Okay. What was the last thing I said?
It sounded like you were trying to sum up, kind of like what you were doing. I heard something about Last Dragonborn was Skyrim, and I think after that you kind of dipped.
Okay, and then Troopers of the Stars is a reference. Well, is a song that's like inspired by Starship Troopers, which is very evident in the lyrics. I'm like, oh my god, this is about Starship Troopers. I'm trying to think of. I don't know. I didn't. None of the other ones had any lyrics that like stood out to me, which is when I'm going to look in like, what's this referencing? I'm like, oh, that's stupid obvious. Why didn't I think of that game? But yeah, they're a fun metal band. Their songs are very long, but man, their guitar stuff is fantastic. I mean, when I'm like, oh, these are the guys who do Through the Fire and Flames, which I feel like anyone both seriously like that song or just the meme of that song knows Through the Fire and Flames.
Right.
And just on Spotify, let's see, for their number 1 song on Spotify is Through the Fire and Flames with 101, almost 102 million listens. Their number 2 song has 28 million. That is nearly 5 times higher than their next most listened to song. So it's safe to say that Through the Fire and Flames is an exceptionally popular song that people listen to a lot, and would definitely be what the band's most known for. But I don't know what else to say. I'm relatively new to listening to the group.
Okay.
I like their music, and I like the the fantasy sci-fi sort of inspired stuff by it, and also like the guitar stuff is great. I love the guitar in their songs. They're just fun background songs, and some of them they have their one song is like a cover of like the Titanic song "My Heart Will Go On," which I've never been any kind of a fan of Titanic or really like that song, but the Dragon Force cover of that song is amazing.
Right.
And like, I love it. I'm like, oh wow, this is great. They should have used this in Titanic. Even though that wouldn't fit with the movie, but maybe it's the better version of the song. But that's all I can think to say of Dragon Force.
Yeah, I actually did kind of like them a little bit. But this is just me just nitpicking. That's all it is. They are good. I will say that they are really good. The only problem is, I feel like there's a lot more emphasis on the guitar solos than like, kind of like the guitar riff, the melody to it. That's just me just nitpicking. But other than that, because like, part of the reason why I like the songs that I do, I like to hear like a good riff. I like to let the music just speak for itself. Kind of my art, kind of some of my the songs that I went with for my artist of the week. I kind of did the same. I'll get into that later, but yeah, it's kind of like that's like the only problem that I had with the band. Other than that, they're actually really, really good. Definitely, there's a lot of techniques. I love the finger style that they're kind of doing, because I try to learn how to play guitar, and learning finger style is something else. Basically, if you don't know what it is, just listen to a guitar solo from one of these guys. You'll see what I mean. And typically, it's kind of done in more of like a Spanish kind of style is where it's derivative from, but a lot of guitarists and metal bands kind of do fingerstyle as well. There's definitely a lot there, just from looking at the footage. I'm actually kind of glad I did the screen share on this. That way, when I say fingerstyle, you can kind of see it. But yeah, it's actually really good. I didn't know they were songs kind of from video games. I thought that was awesome. If I had to pick a favorite, probably, I think it was Last Dragonborn, I think was the song that I liked, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it was actually pretty good. And then, nice. Since Dark said he was done talking about his, now on to mine. Jesus Christ. Wagaki Band, what did you do? And how did you screw up my freaking goddamn YouTube recommended? I don't know what the hell's going on here. This is easily the first band that I came across because of Wagaki. And this is actually the first music video I seen. And I was blown away. I thought this was awesome. If you're into metal, you're gonna love this band. They are really, really good. They're from Japan. I'm gonna get my notes here. So they're just so good. I love them so much. There's something about the drummer that just... Oh my god, is she actually wearing high heels? I'm hoping to god that's a foot pedal. I just now noticed it. Dude, I thought I looked it up, and she didn't have high heels. Okay, so... The first thing I noticed is they're all in high heels.
Liv, just so you know, they
Oh,
can't see
sorry.
the video.
I thought I was supposed to click on that. Damn it. Yeah, I'm the worst. But anyway, god damn. It's so weird that I'm talking about a drummer, and the reason why it's difficult to be in high heels and tapping your feet is from what I learned in playing guitar, actually. Okay, that's actually a foot pedal. Never mind. Okay, that changes everything. So, basically, if you ever tapped your foot, if you lift with your toes and tap that way, when you learn guitar, one of the first things they teach you is actually how to tap your feet properly. I know it best as a tempo device. It's a needle, you just kind of like pull back on it and just swings back and forth. It has like a pendulum. It will make like a clicking sound. And,
a metronome.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's one of those things. And I always just call them a tempo device because that's what they're for. And basically what a tempo device is the difference of going from freaking goddamn speed metal, you're speeding it up, you're going really fast, or you're just playing a nice slow song and playing a power ballad, going nice and slow. You know, keep a nice steady pace going. That's what tempo is about. It's just essentially the speed of the song. So that way you don't speed up, you don't slow down, you go at the pace you're supposed to. And they teach you when playing guitar that you want to tap with your heel. The reason why, if you tap with your heel, you lift your heel up, you're working your calf muscle. And your calf muscle is very easy to exercise. So if you tap with your heel, you could do this all day. And as long as you just have like some kind of type of stability with your calf muscle, you're kind of good to go. If you tap with your toes, you lift up, you're actually working out the muscles closer to your shin in the front of your leg area. So because of that, you actually wear out relatively easy. And because of that, you can't really tap your toes for very long. Now, if you're a drummer, you're taught more of techniques and ways to kind of not do that, because some foot pedals, they actually are designed to tap with your toes. And obviously, if you learn more about music, you would actually understand that. And some foot pedals, they are now like kind of like designing them to be kind of like backwards, and you actually tap with your heels, so you won't actually have that problem. And that was actually something that I noticed, because all of the women here that's on guitar and everything, they're all in high heels, every single one of them. And my first thought is, if the drummer is wearing high heels and she's playing, how the hell is she doing that? Because essentially, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're wearing high heels, you're basically on your tiptoes, right? So now arch your foot up. Now start tapping. You know how difficult that is? So, like, that was just something I noticed. And for a second there, I thought I actually did see her in high heels, but no, I think that's a foot pedal, actually. But yeah, that was actually you would only learn that if you actually, like, got into music and actually learned, like, how to play a little bit. But yeah, that was just something I just kind of noticed. I forget what it was, but I saw something, and she was like wearing like normal shoes, but Because if she's wearing high heels and working those goddamn foot pedals, you use foot pedals to use double bass. Double bass is used a lot in heavy metal. Motorhead, my favorite band of all time, they were actually one of the first bands to actually do that. It's in the song Overkill. That's a whole nother story there, but anyway. But yeah, I discovered this band. I'm actually relatively new to them as well, so I don't know too much about them. I'm still learning about them every day. So like the band members are, for the record, I think her name is Asaki Asumi. She's actually the lead vocalist. She's the one that's in kind of like a dark dress there. She's the one that's mostly singing. She was the last member added, but she was in the band since the very first album, so pretty much like they were a 4-piece before that first album, but she came along and they already was in work with the new album that they were kind of doing, so she was the last member added, but she was added like late, if that makes sense. They were a band, I think, since 2013, still going strong to this day. And then the original band is Miku Kabato. By the way, I'm probably going to be botching names left and right, so I do apologize in advance. Tsunami Tono, she is the lead guitarist. Miku Kabato, she's on rhythm guitar, and she does like secondary vocals. Gonna be talking about more about her later. And then there is Akane Hirose, I think is her name. She's the drummer. She's kind of my favorite, mainly because whenever I see this music video, my first thought is, how the hell does she keep that little hat on her head? Liv, it's a clip-on. I don't care. I want Magic to be holding up that freaking hat, dude. And then the bassist is Miza, and basically Atsumi, she actually was singing since the age of 14. This is actually her very first band she ever joined, and it looks like she's going to be staying in it for a while. Atano, she is the lead guitarist. She's actually a big fan of Carlos Santana. I don't know too much about him, other than I do know he is, if you want to talk about greatest guitarists of all time, he's definitely in the conversation. The only other thing I know about him is the same event to where Jimi Hendrix did the Star Spangled Banner. It was Carlos Santana that actually thought he had like a couple of hours or like a day or two to actually go up on stage. And a stagehand came looking for him. It was like, you're on in 5 minutes. I'm high as fuck. Could someone take our place and we'll take their spot? We have a lot of bands. If you don't get on stage now, you'll lose your spot. Oh, okay then. So if you ever see Carlos Santana at Woodstock, he probably can't even feel his feet because he is so high as hell. And also with Tano, she also has been playing the piano since she was a child. Also was playing the guitar ever since she joined her high school music band. And then their drummer, Hirose, she is a big fan of Deep Purple. If you are ever going to get into music, I don't need to talk about Deep Purple. They were a previous Artist of the Week. Go watch that. They are the most influential band ever, in my opinion. Particularly... Okay, never mind. I have like a whole bunch of notes. I'm kind of skimming through them. She also played the trumpet and piano as well. Miza, she's the bassist. She is actually a fan of the Smashing Pumpkins and Jimi Hendrix. Once again, they were a previous Artist of the Week. If you don't know who they are, go back and watch that. To be honest, I actually went with Deep Purple and Jimi Hendrix because of this. I wouldn't have to explain them. you just know, because they were previous artists. So if you don't know who Hendrix and Deep Purple is, they were previous artists of the week, so go watch that. And also, she was also playing the piano since she was about 4 years old. She also plays the trumpet and the guitar as well. So, kind of a little diverse there. And so now, there's no way I could talk about Bandmade without talking about their look and personality. What you see before you is not just something that they just thought of and just ran with it. The rhythm guitarist, she actually, that's Miko Kabato, she actually once worked as a actual, whatchamacallit, she actually worked as a, she actually worked at a maid cafe. It's a real thing in Japan. I'm not making it up. So, apparently, in Japan, they legitimately do this. There actually is a thing called maid cafes. It is real. So, Miku did this for a living. To where she worked at a maid cafe. She had that outfit, she wore it, and this is what she did. So, basically, when she was trying to work, well, in the very early days of Bandmade, basically the band just got together and they said, hey, let's do a gimmick. And it didn't take Miku too long to realize, why don't we be maids? So they just kind of came up with the name and they ran with the gimmick. So because of that, that's what ended up turning it into basically this. So, yeah. So that's what happened. And they don't just have the outfits. They actually go a step further. So, their male fans, they actually refer to as master. Their female fans are referred to as princess. Their concerts are considered servings. This is how far they were willing to go. And I did not know about that. Apparently, upon further research, there may be translation issues, or that actually is what they do. Because I've also came across other research that showed that maybe it's not Master and Princess, but actually Sir and Madam. Either way, they actually have a very strong fan base. And I discovered them because of goddamn Wagaki Band, and I've been watching them ever since, and they're just so good. My favorite song from them is, I think, the song Order. I was actually thinking about either having, whenever I do Artist of the Week, I always try and lay out my artist songs, like as if I was trying to kind of do like a miniature album. I try and pick a song to where they have like a little bit of range. So I actually really did kind of like the song Start Over, because it had kind of like a jazzy opener, and I thought that was a little different. It's a little more slower paced song. But the other songs I went with, I feel like they're just the best of the best. And I think the song Order, it really, kind of going back to what I was saying about Dark, I kind of like to hear like a little bit of kind of like a guitar riff or some sort in the instruments, so that way, you know, you kind of hear the music just speak for itself. And I kind of felt like with songs like Order, this song, it's Thrill. By the way, that's Miku right there. She's the one that came up with the gimmick. Although you can see the drummer in the background there. But yeah. And they're just really, really good. I like them. Although this is just the start of what the hell did I get into. So, needless to say, there's going to be a whole bunch of weeb shit coming up in the Artist of the Week on my end. I'm not going to do all of them, but I'm definitely gonna do some. So, I need to go through my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. But other than that, I think where the hell is my goddamn cursor? But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Damn it! Now I just skipped through. There it is. Oh yeah. The one last thing I did wanted to bring up. I know I'm not alone on terms of thinking that this band is really good. They actually received a couple of nominees for awards, and I kind of wanted to bring that up. The Neo Awards, they were doing, apparently Bandmade was nominated for Best Musical Act in 2020. They won. The Classic Rock and Roll of Honor Awards, they were nominated for Japanese Next Generation in 2016. They won. So, I think their accolades and their capabilities in music, I think, just speaks for itself. I personally like them, but I can understand if someone's not really into this kind of type of music. It's understandable. They speak Japanese. There is some moments to where it's like broken English, but it is what it is. But yeah, I like them. And I am still kind of getting used to them. But yeah, they're just really good. I highly recommend them. So yeah. Dark, any thoughts?
I liked them. I thought the instrumentals are really good.
Yeah.
And the vocals are also good, too. They complement the instrumental really well.
Yeah. Like I said, I wish I knew more about them, but it's one of those things to where I speak English, they speak Japanese, so yeah, we're not going to be able to like go over everything, but it is what it is. But yeah, I just really like them. They're just so good. I highly recommend them. And yeah, I don't know what else to say other than probably go ahead and just end the podcast. So, Dark, we're pushing 4 hours. I would like to end the stream. This is why you should have remembered RDR2 next time. Or any other big major game that both of us played.
Yep. Yeah. Alright, fine. Well, I'll do better remember next time, okay?
I'm just saying. That's why we're pushing 4. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's also not because we have a hard time of, finishing the podcast on time. No, couldn't be.
So, stuff on your stream, or just gonna skip it?
Oh, stuff on my stream?
Yeah.
I'm debating if I want to play with Red Dead 2 story over. I want to get back. There's some things that I want to play. I'd love to stream a little Rainbow Six Siege. I've been meaning to want to play that again. I've been playing Valorant it's not on stream, but I'm playing with my RP buddy Prox, and other RP friends. That's been fun. I mean, I'm not good at the game at all. I'm absolute dog shit at the game. But I'd like to maybe get some Siege streams in. I'd like to start getting maybe designating some days for Yakuza, so I can, maybe do a Yakuza week. I don't know, just something to move it along because I've got 200 hours left in that game or something.
Well, honestly, it really depends on... Because, honestly, regardless of what me and Josh went through with the game, it honestly varies. Because there's one part that could drag out your playthrough longer or shorter. Because you can skip it out entirely, and I believe I even put that in the bet to where, you don't have to do all the side quests, but I would recommend them.
But the side quests are the best part of the game, though.
Are you enjoying the side quests?
I love the side quests, yes.
Okay, well, see, I didn't know that. I'm actually kind of glad to hear that, because the side quests are only going to get better. Both in the funny area and also in... There is one seriousness. I know you're kind of at-ish. But the one thing I will say about Yakuza, at least to you anyway, I don't know if I ever brought this up before. I do know Josh wants to see you finish Yakuza, but I kind of had it in my head a long time ago that if it's not your game, you don't have to play it. So like, when I saw you do, like, RP, I was actually kind of glad, because I felt like, okay, this is something that I know he's going to want to do. And sure enough, like, you completely lost yourself in RP. So when I saw that, I was like, yeah, this kind of feels more right that he just stick to RP, because it's probably more for what he wants his channel to be. Because basically, you're only playing this game because I bought you the game, so, which is, I mean, completely fine. But at the same time, it's like, I know Josh wants it. I honestly just want to keep seeing you actually just do RP, to be honest. At this point, you put so many hours in RP, I almost feel like I might need to call 911 if I see that you're not RPing. Yeah, hello.
I think I have, according to Steam, my source SD, the thingy that it uses to run, it says I've logged 176.3 hours, so probably 165 hours? Probably 100, no, probably closer to 160 hours. Actually, what's my collection look like? Real quick. For, collections. For Ryan Hastings, 103 hours in my collections for the videos of Ryan Hastings. Holy fuck. I didn't realize. It's 103 hours. It's 103.
Well, there you go.
Fuck.
And I probably only went through maybe 5 or 10% of that, so...
That's fine, I don't remember most of it.
I forgot where I left off. So... But yeah, you put so many hours, I felt like I need to call 911 if I ever see you not doing RP. Yeah, hello, 911? My friend's not doing RP. Wait, what? What are you talking about? Hold on, he's getting on. It is not RP, I repeat, it is not RP.
Yeah, I'd like to maybe back off a little bit and, like, not abandon RP. I'm not abandoning RP. Until, like, it dies, until what I'm doing dies, I'm gonna stick with it for as long as I can.
Right.
But back up a little bit and do more variety streams, because I'd still want to do variety streams, but still do RP. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally understandable. But whatever you decide, I support it. And yeah, I think there's nothing else. Me, I'm gonna be doing Danganronpa just for a little while. I really want to finish that game because I already stopped cold once doing that freaking game. So basically, I played the game, and then I stopped because I had no idea that Persona 4 was gonna come to PC. And I would take anything Persona. I kind of felt like, oh man, I wasn't gonna get Persona 5, but okay, well, I could accept 4. Well, now I went through 4, had so much entertainment out of it. It's basically, I would even take like Persona 1 at this point. Just anything Persona, I would take it. And so I dropped everything to play Persona 4, and kind of having to go back. I'm having to relearn the mechanics. I forgot how certain stuff was done, and luckily, it's relatively understandable, so it's not too hard to follow, but still, to go through all of that again, I think I would be doing the game I think it would be an injustice if I stopped cold again to do Mafia 1 when that releases. So, Mafia 1 should be releasing in a couple of weeks near the end of the month. I believe the 25th, so there might be a week or two to where I might have like a full complete schedule and I'll just be doing Danganronpa every day, basically. I just want to complete it before Mafia 1, because when Mafia 1 shows up, I'm going to lose myself in that, and then I think it got pushed again, if I last checked. I don't know if it's December or November. I think it's November. I think that's when... What is it? Cyberpunk should be releasing, unless that gets pushed. I'm actually kind of hoping it gets pushed at this point, because there's too many games coming out at once. I need a break from one. So, yeah. So basically, I just want to beat Danganronpa. Usually I would do Yakuza 0 tomorrow, but I'm only holding back on that just so that way I could hopefully complete Danganronpa, because I think the game is really good. I'm having a lot of enjoyment. By no means is it like up there with Yakuza, but it's somewhere probably not as good. It's better than Rise of the Tomb Raider, but nowhere near as good as RDR2, if that makes any sense. So, it's slightly below or at RDR2, in my opinion. But, of course, it's a visual novel, so gotta take it for what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna be grinding away at that. So it's gonna be a Danganronpa for a while. Hopefully I complete it. And then if I do complete it, I think I'm just gonna be doing Remnant streams, because that game, to me, is just fun. Which, also, Monday, we are gonna be doing Remnant. Dark, I can't wait for Monday, man. I want to see it happen. Either. So
gonna be fun.
I'm gonna be looking forward to that. So I hope to see everybody then. I know I'm gonna be seeing Dark on Monday, so it's just gonna be fun. So yeah, other than that, I got nothing to say. Any last minute thoughts, ideas, or anything that you think we missed?
Nope. None whatsoever.
Alright. So, I guess we'll go ahead and see you guys on the 19th. That will be when Dark is going to be hosting the podcast. So, we're going to see it then. And, yeah. I guess that'll be it. So, I'm going to be playing some Remnant, actually, soon. I'm just going to... The stream's going to go down, but I'll be back up. I'll be playing some music. I don't know if Dark's gonna be doing a stream soon, or if he's just gonna call it for today. Either way, I'm gonna be playing Remnant, so I want to take on that freaking boss, the swamp boss, and I think it might be the last boss in the swamp. I want to see what happens there. I gotta get that goddamn... I gotta get the freaking... On my main, I don't have the SMG. I need to grab that. I also need to grab the... Oh god, I might even need to rank up that gun too. I just now realized. So... I got stuff to do. Alright guys, we're gonna head out. Stream's gonna go down, but we'll come back up, be playing some music, and we'll hopefully do a Remnant stream. So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you on the 19th of September, and
bye, everyone.
See you guys on, hopefully, Monday for some more Remnant with Dark, me, and Lucky.